Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to everyone present here. On behalf of the IQAC-ANNAMALAI University, a warm welcome to one and all. The art of practicing yoga helps in controlling an individual's mind, body, and soul. It brings together physical, mental disciplines to achieve a peaceful body and mind. It helps manage stress and anxiety and keeps you relaxing. It also helps in increasing flexibility, muscle strength, and body tone. Keeping this in mind, the IQAC of Annamalai University is conducting this short-term course on yoga, the tool for harmonizing the self and the world. It is a mark of our classic tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of any function. Let us start the program with prayer. Now I invite Dr. Rajesh Sir, Faculty Coordinator of Cultural Club, Assistant Professor, Department of Music, for the prayer song, please.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் பதனமெட திகழ் பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிலமை திறம்பியது செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Next followed by Annamalai பல்கலைக்கழகம் அரசர் வாழ்த்து.
தில்லை பதிவுடையார் சிற்றம்பலம் தன்னில் அல்லும் பகலும் நின்று ஆடுகின்றார் எல்லை அண்ணாமலை அமைத்த கலை கழகம் கண்ணார கண்டு கழித்து நில்லாத செல்வத்தை நிலைக்க செய்தார் நீங்காத கலை புரட்சி நிரம்ப செய்தார் கல்லாத இனமெல்லாம் கற்க வைத்தான் காணாத பெருங்கழகம் களத்து வைத்தான் இல்லாத புலவர்களை இருப்போராக்கி இணையாத தமிழ் புகழை ஈட்டிக் கொண்டான் வெல்லாத செயலில்லை என்று போற்ற விளங்கியவன் மன்னன் மழையல் வாழ்க. மணி காட்டும் கோபுரம் போல் உயர்ந்த நெஞ்சூம் மலை காட்டும் அகலம் போல் விரிந்த மார்பும் பணி காட்டும் திருக்குறளில் படிந்த வாழ்வும் பதவியெல்லாம் படி போல கடந்த பாம்பும் அணி காட்டும் தாமரையா அடைந்த மார்பும் ஆரையுமே உறவாக அணைக்கும் கையும் பிணி காற்றும் மருத்துவன் போல் பேணும் அன்பும் பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையவள் பெரியோன் வாழ்க. பெற்ற தமிழ் முத்தையவள் பெரியோன் வாழ்க. பெற்ற தமிழ் ராமசாமி பெரியோன் வாழ்க. பெற்ற தமிழ் ராமசாமி பெரியோன் வாழ்க.
Thank you, sir. A man of letters with illuminating ideas on one hand and compassion towards fellow man. The person who is dedicated to coordinating and ensuring internal quality, the university as the director of IQAC and head of the Department of Entomology, Dr. Arivudanambi sir. He is an agricultural scientist with more than 2 decades of teaching and research experience. He has to his credit 26 publications in national journals and 21 publications in international journals and a book. In addition to guiding young researchers in the field of agriculture, he has also completed 30 major and 9 minor research projects. There are 7 major ongoing projects. As a research grant, he has received more than rupees 1 crore and 74 lakh. He also is the head of the Department of Entomology. As a director of the IQAC, he peeps into every nook and corner of the university so that quality can be ensured and enhanced. The program is one such endeavor. Despite his busy schedule, he paid attention to every minute a detail in organizing this program. Sir, will now welcome the gathering, please.
Honorable Vice Chancellor and most respected dignitaries, good evening to one and all. I am pleased to accord a cordial I am pleased to accord a cordial welcome to Honorable Vice Chancellor of Annamalai University, Dr. R.M. Kadiresan. He is a man of action and is a source of inspiration to all of us. He always envisages keen interest in benefiting research. He keeps the students at the center in all his endeavors. Especially, most of the members in IQAC are fortunate to be his student. We are happy that IQAC is organizing a 1-week virtual multidisciplinary short-term course on yoga, the tool for harmonizing the self and the world. This multidisciplinary workshop is inaugurated by our Honorable Vice Chancellor, and I welcome him on the behalf of the IQAC and all other office bearers of this particular short-term multidisciplinary course. It is an honor for all of us that the chief guest for this program is one of our distinguished alumni, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvarur, Dr. M. Krishnan. Sir, we admire you for being with us, and you are so simple and down to earth in spite of your remarkable achievements. We are immensely pleased to to welcome you, sir, to deliver a special address in this inauguration of this STC. I wholeheartedly welcome Dr. Selvam, Dean Faculty of Education, Annamalai University, for this multidisciplinary short-term course. It is a delight that a host of subject experts has agreed to act as resource persons. I extend my sincere welcome to every one of them. I also take this opportunity to welcome the organizing secretaries of this particular program, Dr. K. Venkatachalapati, Director, Center for Yoga Studies, Dr. V. Susila, Assistant Professor, Yoga Studies, and Dr. K. Sailila, Assistant Professor in Education. I wholeheartedly welcome all the Deputy Directors in the IQAC and all other non-teaching staff members in the IQAC. Without the enthusiastic support of the participants, we cannot move ahead. I take this opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all the participants from all parts of the globe. It's a matter of pride for us that we have participants enrolled from Canada, Singapore, Sri Lanka, etc. Once again, I welcome all the participants. So here I have to mention the name of a Deputy Director who is in IQAC, Dr. Jaiprakash. Within a week time, because of his and his teammates' effort, almost 650 participants registered in this multidisciplinary short-term course. I wholeheartedly welcome all others who are all online. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your pleasant welcome address. Our most respected Vice Chancellor, Professor R.M. Kadiresan, sir, is an academician and researcher for excellence. He did his postdoctoral research as a Commonwealth Fellow at Northwest University, UK, and specialized in weed science. He has more than 3 decades of experience in teaching, research, and extension services. In addition to teaching and research, he has also held administrative positions like Head of the Department and Dean Faculty of Agriculture. He has completed research project over 16 crores sponsored by national and international agencies like World Bank, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, USAID, ICAR, DST, DBT, etc. More than 2,700 farmers in India as well as across the border like Nepal have derived benefits through this research. Many students have benefited by funded fellowships worth ₹2 crores. Further, his research activity has added infrastructure worth 3 crore for the university. Awards from Union Agriculture Minister Sri Radha Mohan Singh Ji and from national and international agencies like ICAR, British Corp, Protection Council, etc. speak of the worthiness of his research. His contribution to the society as international consultant for FAO Rome, Philippines, expert committee member of National Biodiversity Authority, Ministry of Environment and Forestry, participation in Prime Minister's Skill India program as a technology developer, evolved integrated rice, fish, poultry farming technology that has tripled the income of 1,600 farmers in Tamil Nadu as Prime Minister's motto of doubling farmers' income. Introduced a CFP rice variety that has survived recurrent floods in Kerala this year in 1,000 acres. Extending technology to South nations and collaborating with the NIAS of Japan, FAO of Rome, IRI of Philippines, and Cornell University, USA. Popularizing cultivation of national flower lotus in rice fields as intercrop. As a Vice Chancellor of the university, he is keen in that every department of the university extend its services to the community. This program is one such service towards his vision. Annamalai University is proud and privileged to have such a versatile person as its Vice Chancellor. Now I invite you, sir, to deliver the inaugural address, please.
Thank you, Dr. Sushila. Most respected and beloved chief guest of today's inaugural function, Dr. Krishnan, our prestigious alumni and present Vice Chancellor of Central University of Thiruvarur, Director IQAC, Dr. Arivudai Nambi, Dr. Krishnan, Dr. Karthik Kumar, and other organizing secretaries from IQAC, and all the participants. Very good evening to all of you. A very warm greeting from Annamalai University, which is located at a very fitting place to organize this training program on yoga, the tool for harmonizing the self and the world, namely Chidambaram. When we talk about yoga, I am reminded of two great saints who were supposed to be the founding authors or father of yoga. One is Patanjali, another is Tirumular. Both Patanjali and Tirumular were born and were living in Chidambaram. And the saint Tirumular, who has brought out all the Yoga Sutras in Tamil, and the saint Patanjali, who gave all the Yoga Sutras in Sanskrit. Both of them are from Chidambaram, and Tirumular attained eternity and he merged with the God in the sanctum sanctorum of Lord Nataraja in Chidambaram, dancing Lord Nataraja in Chidambaram. When we talk about yoga, and the organizers have fittingly coined the title as Harmonizing the Self and the World, which of course I don't really know exactly what they meant when they coined the title. But it appears to me that the whole world revolves around the mantra, love is God. And if we think of the origin of this mantra, love is God, it is nothing but the Tamil verse, Anbe Sivam. And again, if we trace the origin of this mantra, Anbe Sivam, which gave birth to the English quote, which is now ruling the world as love is God, Anbe Sivam was given by Tirumular, as I was telling you. In one of his verses of Tirumandram, he said, Anbum Sivamum Irandenbar Arivilar, Anbe Sivamendru Yarum Arigilar, Anbe Sivamendru Arindabin, Anbe Sivamai Amandirupare. He means that God Shiva and love, they are inseparable. And people who don't have any knowledge, they say that Shiva and love are different, but Shiva and love are one. When they understand that Shiva and love are one, they will be the embodiment of worldly affection and love. That is the meaning of this Tirumantram. And that is where this terminology or the quote Anbe Sivam came from, which is again transformed into the English quote of love is God. So, such a great place, and Annamalai University, as I was talking about Chidambaram, where Patanjali is supposed to be earthly incarnation of the Lord Vishnu's bedding snake, Adiseshan. And once when Adiseshan was hosting Lord Vishnu in his Ananta Sayana was smiling, and then this Adiseshan was asking Vishnu, why are you smiling, my Lord? Then Vishnu says, I was just visualizing the Ananda Tandava or the dance of Lord Nataraj. Then Adiseshan in reply is asking, then may I have the pleasure of visualizing the same dance? Then again Lord Vishnu replies, if you want to have that pleasure, then you must be born on the earth. Then Adiseshan takes leave and he comes to Chidambaram. And actually, the temple of Lord Nataraja in Chidambaram is, they say it's somewhere around 6th to 7th century. And there was another temple even earlier to that, maybe 2nd or 3rd century. It's called Ananti Swaran temple, which is at the border of Chidambaram. And a saint, a wife of a saint was taking bath in that temple tank of Ananti Swaran. And this Adiseshan just comes and drops down as a snake on the foot of that wife of the hermit. And that Adiseshan was having narrowed feet. And that rebirth on the earth of Adiseshan is Patanjali. And he was given the blessing of visualizing the dance of Lord Nataraja on the Thaipusam day. And Patanjali was a saint for whom Lord Nataraja gave dance performance. And Patanjali gave all the Yoga Sutras in Sanskrit. Similarly, I told Tirumular was giving the Yoga Sutra in Tamil, and he synchronized with Lord Nataraja in the Kanakasabhay of Lord Nataraja. Just like Tirumular and Patanjali, this Annamalai University was founded with 3 colleges. One college was exclusively for Sanskrit, another college was exclusively for Tamil and Tamil music, and another college for arts and science way back in 1920, almost 100 years back. 1 century behind. And then these 3 colleges merged into Annamalai University in the year 1929. Why I'm just quoting this history is, as Tirumular and Patanjali doing the yoga in Sanskrit and Tamil, Annamalai University is doing the service in both Sanskrit and Tamil from age-old days. And now the university has 10 faculties. It's a multi-faculty university. The way it is being conceptualized in new education policy now, it has been conceptualized, visualized by our great founder, Dr. Rajasar Annamalai Chettiar in 1929. And we had multidisciplinary faculties. And now with the government of Tamil Nadu gracing us and blessing us with affiliating more than 75 colleges in all the 3 or 4 districts around us, we are becoming a bigger university. And we have the vision of starting an exclusive yoga center, preaching yoga, doing research in yoga somewhere in 1980s, early 1990s. So from that time onwards, we had an exclusive yoga center, and we have been teaching yoga programs both on campus as well as in distance education mode. And we propel or we propagate yogas throughout the world. And now when somebody asked me that, what is your plan for the university? I have just like 2 eyes, I have 2 important centers. One is yoga center, and another is the Faculty of Fine Arts with performing arts, which is very rare among other universities. And with these 2 eyes, like yoga center and the fine arts faculty, I would like to reach out the world, and internationalization of education is one of my agenda. We will like to spread our arms and spread the services to the global community. And this is an age-old, yoga is an age-old Indian mythological as well as Indian cultural heritage wealth, which we would like to disseminate throughout the world for the betterment of the individual as well as the world population. And that is how I appreciate the organizing committee for having coined the title as Yoga, the tool for harmonizing the self and the world. I always extend my warm welcome to all the participants, to our prestigious alumni, and to Dr. Krishnan, and to all others to visit Annamalai University and to visit Chidambaram, have darshan, and have a look at yoga center. And if you want to stay for a while and take the scripts of yoga from here, we will be very much thankful and we will appreciate it. We open ourselves for spreading the art of yoga throughout the country, throughout the state, and throughout the world. I wish the training program serve that purpose and a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your thought-provoking inaugural address and shared your knowledge about the yoga. Thank you very much, sir. It is a memorable occasion and a landmark for all of us to have Professor Krishnan sir, who is the revered chief guest of this function and the Vice Chancellor of Central University of Tamil Nadu, Tiruvarur, and also former Vice Chancellor of Madurai Kamaraj University. I deem it a privilege to introduce her to this august audience. Professor M. Krishnan sir is a multifaceted personality with more than 3 decades of experience in higher education, starting as a lecturer up to the professor. He has guided many PhD and postdoctoral scholars. A number of research projects, research grants of about 15 crores are a testimony to his research contribution. He has to his credit a number of publications in national and international journals and a chapter in books. He has held many administrative positions like coordinator, dean, syndicate member, etc. In addition, he has held the various positions in international institutes. He is an exchange visiting scientist, DST, DAID Award, Germany, exchange visiting scientist, INSA Exchange Program, University of Munster, Germany, exchange visiting scientist, Hungary Research Stay Fellowship, Hungary, visiting research fellow, ESRC, Genomics, University of Edinburgh, UK, exchange of visiting scientists, Indo-UK collaborative projects, Commonwealth Fellow, University of Exeter, visiting scientist, INSA Exchange Program, Department of Biochemistry, Okayama University of Science, Japan. Among the many awards and honors he has received include the Zizek Academy Fellowship Award, Fellow of Royal Entomological Society of London, UGC Cultural Exchange Award, Commonwealth Fellowship Award, visiting fellow at the ESRC, Genomics Policy and Research Program at the University of Edinburgh. I wish to make a special mention that Professor Krishnan sir was a coordinator, Department of Yoga, Central University of Rajasthan. I am glad that a scientist with a combination of interest of yoga is with us as a chief guest. Such an academician of a high caliber is virtually present to deliver the special address on behalf of IQAC-ANNAMALAI University and my own behalf. Welcome you, sir. Your presence is a source of inspiration and motivation for the participants. Now I invite you, sir, to deliver the special address, please.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Honorable and respected Vice Chancellor of the great University, Annamalai, Professor R.M. Kathiresan, and my dear friend, Professor Arivudai Nambi, Convener, Director IQAC, and Professor Karthik Kumar, Deputy Director IQAC, and the members who joined with us. I think I am really surprised to see that there are about 500 participants are online. This is a great achievement of this conference. And also, media friends, good afternoon to everybody. I am so happy to be here. I mean, rather than the chief guest of this today, I am so proud to be that student of Annamalai University. I have completed my MSc Zoology in this great university. I learned everything from scratch. And God Nadrasa had given that blessings to be a Vice Chancellor of Madurai Kamaraj and Central University of Tamil Nadu. I have to thank the great Vice Chancellor for giving an opportunity to talk in the week training program on yoga, the tool for harmonizing the self and the world. Before I am coming to the talk about yoga, Annamalai University is an icon for Chidambaram. Apart from the Nataraja temple, we know that Annamalai University is the icon for Chidambaram. Now, not only in Chidambaram, wherever any part of the world when we are going, I can meet my friend. Such a wonderful people are living in Chidambaram and studied in Annamalai University and spreaded that name and fame of that Annamalai University throughout the world. I mean, when the Vice Chancellor calling me to be a special guest for this conference. I am really proud of it. Why? Because whenever we are going for our birthplace, so I mean, we feel happy. That's the way. Today, I have my whole satisfaction to participate in this program. Thank you, Vice Chancellor and his coordinator, for giving the opportunity. Second important thing, I have to congratulate IQAC Director, because IQAC is a very important part of that life of a university, particularly NAC accreditation. But most of the IQAC directors will collect the data and submit to the NAC. But few university directors are conducting such a wonderful conference by bringing different departments together and give the training the different subject. So today, I could see that unique character of IQAC of Annamalai University by having a coordinated conference on yoga. So I have to congratulate Professor Arivude Nambi, the director of IQAC, and his whole team to take that such a wonderful effort to conduct this conference. First of all, we have to see that today you are this year we are celebrating 75th Asadika Amrit Maha Utsava. So where we are celebrating our independence. In that, we can recall that leaders, those they put their effort to give the independence to India. But at the same time, we never forget that our father, Mahatma Gandhi, why? Because he not only did all his life, spent all his life for independence, but also he had a lot of ideas how the higher education should be. He told that, he narrated that higher education, it's not only for getting the salary. Higher education is not only getting the position. Higher education is not only for leading a happy life, but higher education, its main role is to take the product of higher education or excellence of higher education to the society. If you are not justify that, if you are not giving that excellence of higher education to the society, then Gandhiji rightly told that I will not respect the higher education. That's the way. Now, the great Annamalai University has taken the effort to start the department on yoga and give the training to the students and also the teachers nearby, not only in the offline. So I have to congratulate all the vice chancellor responsible for starting the yoga department in Annamalai University. Here I have to register that only 3 departments, 3 universities got the sports science, because now sports science is related or combined with the yoga science. 3 universities got near about 25 crores to start the sports science. One is Patiala Sports University. Second is Annamalai University. Third is Central University of Rajasthan. Why I am telling this one? These 3 universities were awarded with the sports science with the support of UGC with the 25 crores, where when I was in Central University of Rajasthan. That time, we also got the money to start the yoga department with 6 faculty in Central University of Rajasthan. So now, why you need yoga? I think title is telling that yoga, a tool for harmonizing the self and the world. I think they put that title why because we are living in that messy life today. Everybody is saying that when I am calling by mobile, I am busy, I will call you later. Such a way that always in tension, not only individual, the whole world, if you are seeing that, there is unexpected problems. Border problem, industrial problem, and so on and so forth. So we need a simple technology how to avoid these things, how we can improve our life by keeping ourselves and the world in harmonizing nature. So they have selected the right title. What yoga says that if you are seeing the meaning of yoga by Sanskrit, yoga means yoke. What yoke means that union of physical, mental, and spiritual. The 3 things should come together. Then only you can prove that you are practicing yoga. So that's the way now they have the title. My dear friends, my dear participants, yoga is not our new subject. Everywhere we are seeing the yoga. You can start with your culture. Even street play, if you are taking, where small yoga they started. And then we have the Bharatanatyam. As my Vice Chancellor rightly told that, we give the examples of God, Nataraja, who is doing the yoga. Like that, everywhere we are doing that or we are seeing the yoga. But in our busy life, as I told that missionary life, we forget about everything. Now we are revamping. We are revamping that the old culture again to the society. I'm so happy that this university is having the separate yoga department. Otherwise, the sports department will have the yoga. So I request the Vice Chancellor, kindly extend your cooperation and collaboration with other universities, how you can take the yoga to different part of our, not only the state, to the country. Because the yoga people, they need the certificate. They don't have the designation. So now Annamalai University is doing. And when you are doing the yoga, what you are going to get it? But the people like us, right, you have to carefully learn the yoga. Because when you are doing the yoga properly, you should not get any pain. Even you are doing that a month or a year or like that, such a way you have to do the yoga. Otherwise, learn the simple yoga and do it and have a happy life. That is the way now you have to learn the yoga. When you are going to learn the yoga, as I told that, you have to have the physical, mental, and spiritual union. Then only you can have the happy life. My dear friends, when you are going to do the yoga, you are going to have the healthy life. A strong body, you are going to get it. The healthy and strong body will give a right soul for you. The right soul will give that a high thinking, of your brain, a good thinking in your brain, where the right thinking will give that right activities in your life. What I mean, right activities, ethical activities in your life. If you have life like that, when your activities are good, then you will reach that spiritual stage. That is the thing we are expecting from yoga. If everybody is doing like that, because everybody knows that the whole country is accommodating diversity of people. So everybody is going to practice yoga by bringing their physical, mental, spiritual life. Then where we are getting that quarrel, where we are going to get the fight, where we are going to kill one another, nothing will happen. It's not only very important for that, the people. We need this yoga for each and every student living in the university. Why? Because the 2 years, my dear friends, kindly think about it. The 2 years, they are in mental agony, psychologically affected. Rather than infected patient, the people living around the infected patients, they are affecting much. There is a research report from NIMHANS, Bangalore. They are telling that the most people affected by this corona is not by infected people, the people living around the infected people. Because psychologically they get affected. For that, yoga is the solution. How you can give that harmonizing in your mind. How you can bring your mind without tension. So what I request that you can, the Vice Chancellor can bring the yoga is compulsory for all our students, because that Annamalai University is a unique university. One side they have the law, another side they have the agriculture, another side they have the medical, another side they have the engineering, arts and science. On the another corner, Barangipettai, we have the Marine Center. So if you are giving like that training to my teachers and students, really you are spreading the spiritual life throughout not only Tamil Nadu, throughout the country. So you are the living example one day to lead that what you call the spiritual life to almost all the people inside the university. So that's the way this conference, by giving this training, they can spread that knowledge, expertise to each and every people. So only, when I am seeing the participant, now they are reaching 500 participants are on the online. So I request that IQAC coordinator and the organizing secretary of the conference kindly take it challenge how you are going to take this wonderful yoga not only in India and throughout the country. With this, I wish you all the best for the week to have your wonderful days. I wish the Vice Chancellor should achieve more. And I feel that whatever the progress and awards and rewards they are getting, that is my university is going to get all the awards. With this, thank you very much for giving a wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational and inspiring address and shared your views and knowledge about yoga. Thank you, sir. Gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Now I would like to invite Dr. S. Karthik Kumar, sir, Deputy Director, IQAC, and one of the organizing secretaries of this program to propose vote of thanks, please.
உள்ளம் பெருங்கோயில் ஊனுடம்பு ஆலயம் வள்ளல் பிரானார்க்கு வாய் கோபுர வாசல் தெல்ல தெளிந்தார்க்கு சீவன் சிவலிங்கம் கள்ள புலனைந்தும் காலாமணி விளக்கே. Most respected and distinguished dignitaries, on the virtual platform, learned subject experts, our most beloved director IQAC, and the enthusiastic participants from all over the globe. Wish you all a very pleasant evening. It's a very important day for us, the IQAC-ANNAMALAI University. In fact, it's an emotional day. In a very short span of time, within a month, we are organizing 2 short-term training programs, both of them being received by many participants from all over the world. And we do not want to take away all the credit for the success of the programs. In fact, we owe the credit to the alma mater, our university, Annamalai University, which has earned a reputation of its own over the 90 years of its existence. And on this auspicious day, we gratefully remember the founder pro-chancellors, a galaxy of vice-chancellors, and all other faculty who have contributed to the construction of the university and its reputation over the 9 decades. It's our fortune that we are headed by one of our distinguished alumni, Dr. R.M. Kadaresan, the Vice-Chancellor of our university. We owe a lot to our Vice-Chancellor for being a support to us in all our endeavors. Despite being his illness, he has been kind enough to spare his time and to inaugurate the short-term course. Sir, we are sincerely thankful to you, and we place on record our sincere gratitude to you for your time and support. We are always proud of our alumni. Annamalai University has produced a number of distinguished alumni who shine in various walks of life. In fact, our university is a cradle of vice-chancellors who have steered the destinies of a number of universities across the country. Our chief guest for today's inaugural, Dr. Professor Krishnan, happens to be one of our most distinguished alumni. We are doubly happy that he was earlier the Vice-Chancellor of Madurai Kamaraj University when the university was accredited with A++. And now he is guiding the destiny of one of the prestigious institutions, the Central University of Tamil Nadu, Thiruvarur. Sir, we are happy to have you on the platform today, and we are overwhelmed by your simplicity. When we talked to Professor Krishnan over the phone, he simply said, Annamalai University is my university. It is Annamalai University that gave me the identity. So we are grateful that you are still grateful to your alma mater, Annamalai University. We also, at this point, I also record that we anticipate your arrival and stay in our university during the forthcoming NAC visit. So thank you, sir. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your wonderful and crispy special address. Thank you very much, sir. The program owes its success to the subject experts from diverse backgrounds, from academicians to professionals who are going to share their expertise for the benefit of the participants. I take this opportunity to thank all the subject experts who have given their consent to share their expertise with the participants. Thank you, one and all. This is an opportunity for me to record my sincere thanks to the supporting staff from the IQAC-ANNAMALAI University, for the technical support they are rendering. I also owe my thanks to Dr. Rajesh, Assistant Professor of Music, for rendering the invocation and the founders' songs. A special word must be mentioned about the organizing secretaries of the program, Professor Dr. Venkatachalapati, Director, Center for Yoga Studies, Dr. Susila, Assistant Professor of Yoga Studies, and Dr. K. Sai Leela, Assistant Professor of Education. But for their tireless services, this program would not have been a reality today. We thank them for their immense contribution towards the success of the program. A special word must also be made about Dr. Jayaprakash, Deputy Director, IQAC, for his remarkable services for the past 1 week in organizing the program in a successful way. And last but not least, we owe our success to the enthusiastic participants from all over the world. Dear participants, though we organized this program within a very short notice of time, your response was simply overwhelming. In fact, we were stunned by your overwhelming response. We know that there were a few hardships that you had to experience. In registering yourselves for the program. We wanted to digitalize everything for the sake of transparency. We wanted to make everything transparent. However, we are working out ways to overcome these hardships. We are sure that in the subsequent programs, everything will be eased. And we also take this opportunity to appeal to you to be very honest in your feedback, for your feedback will be valuable in enriching our programs. I appeal to you to extend the same kind of support and cooperation in the forthcoming programs too. And I take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the Dean, Faculty of Education, for gracing us with his presence and participation in the inaugural program. Though we receive a number of accolades from participants and dignitaries for the kind of programs that we are organizing, we strongly believe that it is not we who work, and we sincerely believe that we are being operated by the divine force. Vendattakkadu arivoini, venda muzhudum taruvoini, vendu Myanmarukku ariyoini, vendi enai pani seidai, yanum aduve vendi nallal, vendum parisu ondrenil, aduvum undan viruppamandre. So with this word, let me thank once again all the dignitaries and participants for your wonderful support. We assure that we will serve you with our best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your work. Now the first session, today's first resource person, Dr. S. Vishwanathan. So before that, we have to start with prayer.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahavidyam Karavavahai Tejasvinau Atitham Astuma Vidvischavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Now I request Dr. Venkatajalapati sir, Director, Center for Yoga Studies, to introduce today's resource person, please.
Good evening to one and all. Most Honorable Vice Chancellor of Annamalai University, Honorable Chief Guest of the Central University, the IQAC Director and the Deputy Directors, and the Dean Faculty of Education and other participants. Good evening to one and all. The Chidambaram is the place for the birthplace of yoga. Then if you want to explain about that yoga, yogam செய்ய வேண்டும் என்றால் சிதம்பரத்தில் செய்ய வேண்டும் என்பது சித்தர்கள் வாக்கு. If you want to do yoga, you start the yoga from Chidambaram. Chitambara is a place for the expansion of the consciousness. Chit means the consciousness, Ambara means expansion. Expansion of consciousness is called yoga. It not stop at the physical level alone. It going to that different level of the state like yama, niyama, ashana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, shamati, vitarka, vichara, ananta, asmida, sarbija, nirvija, dharmamega, moksha. And apart from that, many saints, they are running the highest of all in the conscious level or the upgrading the consciousness from Chidambaram. Therefore, it is the place for the right place for practicing of yoga. Annamalai University started that yoga in the year 1964 in the separate department in the year 1998. Now I introduced Professor Dr. S. Viswanathan, today's speaker. For being MBBS, DGO, MD, Dr. Viswanathan sir, OG from the Kasturiba Medical College of Mangalore in the year 1979 and 1984 and 1986 respectively. He was working as a medical superintendent, professor and head of the department division of obstetrics and gynecology in Raja Mutaya Medical College Hospital, then KIMS and PK Das Institute of Medical Science. He received a fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons and Glasgow, United Kingdom of fellowship of the Academic Biomedical Scientists of Chennai. A lot of work being carried out under the leadership and reduce that the maternal and neonatal mortality and morbidity. He also responsible to start in the Garbha Vidya, the training of unborn child in the fetus in the university. He established the Center for Yoga Studies at Annamalai University on 7th December 1998. He designed curriculum of yoga program for certificate course to PhD level. He educated more than 15,000 students on drug awareness and power of youth. He trained more than 1 lakh people in the field of yoga. He performed 10,000 minor and major surgeries in OG surgeries. He has participated many conferences, seminars, workshops, and presented paper, and one passionately involved in the human development. Dr. Viswanathan has received many progress and prestigious awards and honors from the various institutions. Now I request Dr. Professor S. Viswanathan, the speaker of today. His topic is the practical approach of the spirituality. Now, he is the managing partner cum consultant, mind and body, aesthetic medicine, obstetrics and gynecology, Z Clinic in Chennai, and former medical superintendent of Raja Mutaya Medical College, Pikados Institute of Medical Science. I welcome you, sir. On behalf of the organizing committee, on behalf of the IQAC, I welcome Dr. S. Viswanathan, sir. Welcome you, sir.
Yeah, just can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay. Namah Shivaya வாழ்க, நாதன் தாழ் வாழ்க, இமைப்பொழுதும் என்னெஞ்சில் நீங்காதான் தாழ் வாழ்க, அவன் அருளாலே அவன் தாழ் வணங்கி, எல்லாம் அல்ல ஒளிமயமான சக்திமயமான பரம்பொருளை வாழ்த்தி வணங்கி உங்கள் அனைவரையும் வணங்கி மகிழ்கின்றேன். It gives me immense pleasure to be in front of you. dignitaries who has just now talked about yoga and also started this 1 week the program. And I'm really thankful to Dr. Kadiresan, Vice Chancellor, and other dignitaries, the Vice Chancellor of other university, also who is in charge of this program, and Mr. Venkatachalapati and Mrs. Sushila and all the people. I'm so happy for the first opportunity. First, I thought to share with you tools, the practical spirituality. Already they talked about, you all must be knowing about yoga. Many people, as told by Venkatachalapati and our Vice Chancellor, is not just a physical posture alone. It's a very, very minimal component. It's much more. It's a union of body, mind, spirit, they said. Now I'm going to share with you the spiritual tools, the practical tools, which I learned when I went to London for a 21-day workshop from Janaki Foundation. I wrote to them. It's not mine. They worked for 5.5 years to produce this tool, which I'm going to share. Is worth listening. It's very, very opening, eye-opener for me. I thought I'll share with you. First tool, only 7 tools you have to remember. First tool is meditation. You all know, meditation is nothing but spending time with yourself, enjoying yourself. You spare your time. That is meditation. Minimum 30 to 40 minutes in the morning and in the night. It's actually better. What is this meditation? What happens? It's not about thinking. Always we are thinking. Thinking. Thinking produce stress, a lot of stress. This is like wiping out. Actually, yoga is not doing. Many people have a misnomer. Yoga means we have to do something. Yoga, most of the time, is not doing. That means you become a child again. You become innocent. You become truth. As Swami Rama said, what is yoga? The truth and love is yoga. The truth and love is yoga. So first tool, meditation, spending time with yourself. So what happens? You have so many thought process. When you start looking at yourself, initially it may be little bit disturbance or little bit upsetting. The negative thoughts may come in. We have around 70,000 thoughts per day. When you're sitting down, gradually it evaporates. It becomes more or less empty. It's having a few thoughts. For example, they say, out of the 70,000 thoughts, maybe 30 to 40 thoughts per day is enough. But the mind instruments keep on producing thoughts. Mainly I am doing it. I have done, I am so and so. I am Dr. Vishwanathan. I am the medical superintendent. I have done this course. I have done this curriculum. And all the time this I is a barrier to yoga. You must understand. I is a barrier. We cannot do anything. We are only instrumental in propagating, in doing. So when you sit in meditation, when you sit silently, what happens is become awareness. You start emptying everything. All unwanted goes away. Now, a lot of scientific research, it says all the psychosomatic illnesses are produced by our own thought process. You are your friend, you are your enemy. That's what told by Tirumoolar. Thane pagaivan, thane nanban. Thane immai, thane marumai. Thane than seida vinaipayan tuipan, thane tanakku talaivanumame. You are your friend. You are your enemy. End of the day, whatever you have done, it has to come to you. Thane than seida vinaipayan tuipan, thane tanakku talaivanumame. That's what Tirumandram. So who is your friend? Who is your enemy? That you must know. Another thing I would like to quote from Tirumandram. We are knowing everybody. You are knowing me now. You are knowing everybody who is so and so and all that. Always we look for others. What Tirumandram says, what yoga says, my dear great friends, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, over 600 participants, I'm addressing all of you. தன்னை அறிய தனக்கொரு கேடில்லை தன்னை அறியாமல் தானே கெடுகின்றான். தன்னை அறியும் அறிவை அறிந்தபின் தன்னை அர்ச்சிக்க தான் இருந்தானே. We are always outside. He's the president of the country, he's a prime minister, he's so and so, he's doctor. It's okay, good. Nothing wrong with them. It's fantastic. My dear great friends, at the same time, you must understand ourselves. Who am I? That's what Sri Ramana Maharishi asked. We are always going out. Yeah, we are always flavoring. Yeah, that person is great. Now people put a lot of, yeah, he's a nice fellow, he's good. Doctor so and so is good. Fine. I'm not saying no. End of the day, who are you? Who am I? What is his purpose? What is this all about? Inquiring oneself and finding out, that is meditation. Meditation is sitting yourself and finding out. Enjoying what is not a punishment. It's not doing something. Yeah, I have to do meditation. No, it's not like that. You are letting go. You are very peaceful, very happy. There are three prerequisites for doing this meditation. 3 prerequisites, which I have shared thousands and thousands of students at Annamalai University. When we are all joined together, we started the Center for Yoga Studies. I would recollect the founder pro-chancellor this time, and I am so happy about Dr. Kadaresan recollecting the memories, because the first thing we require is gratitude. Without gratitude, there is no yoga. You cannot have yoga. You start doing some asana, that's a gymnastic. Doing some, put your head into your legs and doing, you can do, nothing wrong, it's good actually, or physically it's good, but that is not yoga. Yoga is the intelligent control of the mind, is the expansion of consciousness. Is focusing is yoga, focus. Just one point, only one point. And also, my dear great friends, defocusing is yoga. It's not only focusing, defocusing. I'm purposely putting the silence in between for you to understand. So you have to know yourself. You have to spend time with yourself. This becomes a habituation. You become a childlike. What happened? All the unwanted thoughts are erased. Then you have 30 to 40 thoughts. You have a clarity. What exactly you have to do. Otherwise, it's confusion. It's all chaos. It's very difficult. So when you sit there, you cleanse up. You take away the unwanted stuff. So unwanted stuff. 80 to 90% are not needed stuff. 10 years ago, somebody said something. And 2 years ago said something. We always harbor here. Negative thoughts, unwanted, all going away. You become fresh. That's what all the great yogis, they have done. J. Krishnamurti calls it choiceless awareness. So now the science also proves, when you start meditating, what happened? The mind becomes clear. The stress is released. You have emotional intelligence also. You know what exactly talk. What should I talk? What is happening around me? Everything is good for diabetes, good for hypertension, good for asthma, along with pranayama, along with mind, even everything, because mind is everything. Everything is a mind. Your mind is so powerful to direct the mind, to clean whichever the direction. The first tool I'm sharing with you is a spiritual tool. Every day you have to do. It's not a lecturing. I'm a lecturer. I'm a pandit. Panditji. No. You have to be a warrior. You have to do every day. Many people, they talk about yoga. Even I do remember when I was yoga center studies, I said, no, I had a fortune of being instrumental. Many people, they come and say, we are masters of yoga. I used to laugh at myself, because even Tirumula Patanjali says they are students. There is no mastery. You learn some yoga asana. There are 86 lakhs of postures. If you start memorizing the name, your life will be over, my dear great friends. So there are so many pranayama technique. There are so many other modalities, mudras. This is all part and parcel to culture yourself. As Swami Vivekananda said, anything secret and mysterious in the system of yoga should at once be rejected. The best guide in life is strength. Mystery mongering weakens a human brain. It has well nigh destroyed yoga, one of the grandest of all the sciences. It's not ordinary science. is the grandest of all the sciences. That we have to remember. It's not something I go to ashram, I become a great yogi. No, you have to do action, karma yoga. You have to focus it and defocus. Action with the relaxation is yoga. So first tool, be enjoy yourself. I said 3 parameters. One is gratitude. That's why we have to remember the pro-chancellors. Remember the people who contributed to yoga. That is Patanjali and great Saint Thirumolar. Your parents. Morning they used to, that's why Surya Namaskar. Surya unnai toluven, சூழ்ந்த வினைகளெல்லாம் நீங்கத் தொழுவேன், சந்திரா உன்னை தொழுவேன், சந்ததியெல்லாம் தழைக்கத் தொழுவேன், ஒத்திட்டேரி உலகத்தை வலம் வந்த சிவசூரிய நாராயண மூர்த்தியே நமஸ்காரம். That is prayer to Surya. What is it? Is it Suryan going to get anything? No. When you do with the gratitude, enkephalins, endorphins are secreted in your body. You become very beautiful. You become pretty. You have to show gratitude to your parents. I used to tell them, I told more than 5,000 students in person at Annamalai University, you go and touch the feet of your parents and tell them, if I've done any mistake, I'm sorry. I want your blessing. Don't think, do it. I'm also requesting all the audience, more than 600 people, just go and touch. Or if they're not alive, see the photograph and tell. Or over a phone, you tell them, I learned to give respect to you. I'm humbling in front of you. I need your blessings. If you don't improve, you can come and hit me. This is what I used to tell all my students. Why, through DNA, RNA, messenger molecule, it acts, my dear great friends. So gratitude to yourself, your body. See, now my eyes are very good. My fingers are good. If suddenly something iron particle fell into my eye, how difficult it is. Am I grateful to my body? I'm grateful to my heart. I'm grateful for my fingers and hand, everything. I can move. This gratitude. For your spouse, are you gratitude? After they die, you talk about them. I would not have scolded my wife. Are you gratitude for your sons? Because of them, you call yourself as a parent. Are you gratitude for your teacher? So first prerequisite to do meditation is you must have gratitude. I think I'm making myself clear to you. Second, you must have compassion. Karunai. Compassion means karunai. Feel all the beings are yours. Compassionate. How other person feels. Karunai udayorku. Unarvudayorku உள்ளது சொன்னோம். That is told in Thirumandram. Thirumolar. உணர்வு இல்லாம மெஷின் ஏதோ நடத்துறோம், போறோம், நாளைக்கு போறோம், அப்படியே போறோம், அடுத்த நாள் போறோம். இதுதான வாழ்க்கை. This is what life is all about. Do you have a feeling? Do you have a compassion? Do you have karunai for other beings? Vadiya Vairai Kandapodallam Vadinane. That's what Vallalar. He has become light. He has have such a beautiful emotion when a plant is not blossoming. It's becoming without water, is drying up. He starts crying. That's why he has become Vallalar, a great saint. And third is love, as told by Dr. Kadaresan. Love is God and base Shivam. So 3 are prerequisites. So first tool, I'm ending up with you, my dear great friends, meditation. You remember meditation. Do it every day. Second tool is visualization. What is this visualization? Anything you start seeing, that becomes a reality. You put into your conscious mind enough of input. You need to put enough of input. After that, the subconscious will take over. You start visualizing. Now I want to give a lecture to you. I cannot simply come and sit. I want to give a lecture. I have to visualize how I am going to be, what I am going to talk. How long? Is that about 1 hour? Okay, I told Sushila, before 10 minutes, you please let me know. I am overboarding. Because when we go with yoga, we call Thirumolar and Patanjali. Please come and help us. They will come. They will help you. So we start overboarding. So this is a planning. It's called organizing. So what happens is you visualize everything. What is going to come, who are the audience, how we are going to address, what are the flow of order we want to say. Not simply, I don't know what to say. No, you have to visualize. You want to go somewhere else, visualize. You want to do operation, you visualize. You are administrative, you visualize. The flood is going to come, how you are going to challenge, how you are going to see. Anything visualize, that becomes a truth. It becomes easy. How you want to take care of your body, you visualize. They say even visualizing by doing yoga postures, that's having more or less effect. It's been proved scientifically. So second tool I shared with you, my dear great friends, visualization. This also we teach in Garbha Vidya, which we started at Rajamata Medical College Hospital. When I was there as a medical superintendent and head of the Department of Gynecology, I was instrumental. If I say I started, that's a highness. That is something wrong with me. We cannot start anything. We are only the medium. So I was instrumental because word power is lacking. Garbha Vidya, that is visualize. You visualize your child inside is beautiful. You visualize I'm a beautiful mother. You visualize my uterus is so relaxed. You visualize I'm hearing my baby's heartbeat. You visualize the eyes of a beautiful baby. Everything becomes true because எதை நினைக்கிறாயோ அதுவாக நீ மாற்றப்படுகிறாய். That is told in yoga. So yoga is science. Now you imagine you are in Ooty. You are so cold, freezing. You become cold. You imagine you are in a hot desert. You become hot. You imagine some unwanted situation. You become that. You imagine you are talking to Tirumular. That becomes true. So second tool, my dear great friends, I'm going to say only 7 tools. So please remember, it's not a lecture just like that, some course conduction for you and go away. Okay, go get the certificate, get certificate. What is the use of certificate? Huh? Certificate is okay. What is you going to do with the certificate? Paste in your forehead, is it? I'm a yoga trainer. Unless you are practicing yoga, you cannot, because it won't reach the clients, it won't reach the patients, it won't reach the people, it won't reach the masses. You have to become like that, my dear great friends. Your great grandmother is a great yogi. Is not somebody doing acrobatics. So please remember that. Okay. Second tool is visualization. Examination. Students, you visualize. What are the questions? What is the short note? What is the long term? Short notes, how many marks? How I am going to write? What are the points? That becomes your child's play when you start visualizing. So second tool I shared with you, my dear great friends. So first tool I said meditation. Hopefully you remember. Second tool I told you visualization. Okay. Third tool I'm sharing with you, creativity. Anything new, creative. You are a mimic. You are a copycat. It's a suicidal. You cannot copy anyone. You have to use your creativity. You know who is the greatest creator? Gautama Buddha. When you connect with the cosmos and you deliver, that becomes your creativity, your uniqueness, your brand. You are coming out from the core of your heart. That's why the celestial dance, music, arts, fine arts, everything, yoga, all it coming from there is a creativity. It's not memorizing. It's not just vomiting. You are not a machine touch. There are 18 asanas. Every damn thing is available. You put yoga asana, there are 100,000 pages are there about yoga. What are you going to do with the yoga asana postures, just typing the thing? You have to go creatively, you have to conduct. I can be very happily, I can say, Annamalai University is a proud pioneers in 1998. When we happened to be there, first time in the world history, it started as a distance education module program. It's a creativity. Nobody thought about it. People said, how can you teach yoga? How is it possible? How can you teach anyone in the yoga? No. We are incorporated every people in the medical field. One of the unique curriculum being done is not that I have done, not that somebody has done, is made for it. It's occupy itself. Patanjali says, when you start doing with some good cause, an indomitable energy will descend somewhere else. It's like indomitable energy will start descending from some greater realm of consciousness. That is true. Even I just personally experience, when I do it for me, it gets stopped. When you do without any result, you don't want result, you don't want your name, you don't want fame, you just do it. Multi-million times it start coming, my dear great friends. So creativity. When you start creativity, the time and space goes away. You are merged with that, you become that. There are a lot of couplets, a lot of things in Tirumandram. There is, you emerge, you become that. There is no time, there is no limit. You involve, the wall. That's why every child is creative. And unfortunately, many times the schools and teachers, what they are doing many times, we are curbing the creativity. We want the way I want. This is the what I am telling you. So the creativity is stopped. So that's why I shared with you earlier, yoga is coming back to your childhood, is relearning many things. I've learned, I know this is a methodology. I know, good. There may be a new methodology. There may be a new operative, new way of teaching operations, new way of teaching yoga, new way of celestial dance. If I open up myself only, all the creativity will come. I say this is a pattern. Since I am the head of the unit, I am saying that you do that, then you'll create only crafts, only old people. In the even though age-wise you become older, mind-wise you can become young, my dear great friends. So the tool, third tool, I think you remember creativity, because I like to be that. As a teacher, this is my job. I have to put something into you. Something, when you go over it, forget about everything. You remember the 7 things, that is more than enough. So 3, we are finished. Now coming back to the 4th tool. I'm going to do only 7, so don't think too much I'm going to kill you by boring subject, all you know. Listening. 4th tool is listening, my dear great friends. Listening from whom? Listening from you. Kadavul, all inside is there. Listening from great people, listening from great saints, listening to your own pulse, your own vibration, your own aura, listening everywhere. Loveful listening. That's what we teach now, non-verbal communication. Cues, listen. Your boss is not well, not happy, he had some mistakes, something is a family problem, you know. When you go, you know, as a yoga man, you know. Yoga is, according to Dr. B. Ramamurthy, is the highest elevation of the cerebral cortex. It's not for ordinary damn Dick and Harry. I'm doing yoga, I got a certificate, 2-week certificate I have posted in my certificate. I'm a yoga master, I'm a yoga master. No, my dear great friends, no. It's the highest intellectual faculty. This is for the greatest people in the earth. All the people, all noble laureates, everybody, they have done yoga. Everybody doing it yoga, not the way what we think. It's a different kind of mind elevation. So the 4th component, I think I'm recollecting with you. The best way to learn is to start telling, start teaching. That's why I accepted the offer immediately. When Sushila and Venkadachalapati said, this is, can you able to address her? Why not? Why not? It's opportunity. Don't say no. No comes from ego. Yes, come from cosmos. Say yes. When opportunity is given to you, say yes. Then the divine will help you to sow. So the 4th is listening. Listen your heart. What it says. It's the right time. Don't just listen to your mind. Mind sometimes can tell you a wrong thing. Your condition, your mind. Your mind, you may say something is wrong. That fellow 10 years ago, he told me, I'm a stupid guy. I don't like this fellow. No, ask your body. It's made up of billions of computers. Billions of neurons. It tells you is it right or wrong. Some people you go and meet, you feel like a pinprick. Yeah, because they are throwing the negative energy. You come to yoga center and see, because the saints live there, you start feeling the beautiful energy. That's why you tell, if you want to do yoga, go to Chidambaram. Because it's a cosmic plane, the energy field. They may not be there physically, but they are there. Their presence is felt. You can feel it. They do. Only you have to say yes. You have to relax. Many people, they ask me, sir, you're a medical superintendent, head of the department, yoga center director for more than 13, 14 years. You do hard work. Only donkeys will do hard work. No, it's not hard work. It's a easy, passionable, enjoyable work, allowing the cosmos to act through you. So, my dear great friends, listening. Okay. We said meditation, I think. Okay, first tool. We said visualization. I am seeing the picture, everything. Okay. I told you creativity, yeah, newness. Don't bother about anything newly you do, people will laugh at you. They think you're a stupid guy, something wrong with you. Then they accept, a good guy, it's a nice guy. Then they start praising you. You are the Lord. You are mighty. You are more than Chidambaram Lord Nataraja. Then you must start thinking, I have become like that. Then your downfall starts. My dear great friend, this is what happened to many people. You cannot. You can only be instrument. Again, I'm repeating, because when you go in the highest pedestal, people start telling you, you are a great man, sir. You are a very perfect man. What the heck, man? It's something great science they have done. You are just an instrumental in doing this, my dear great friends. You have to remember, always remember, that is the one which you may drown if you go with a high-headedness. Everybody has to go away. We come, limited period, then go away, get lost. You cannot say, Indirundor, Nalai illai endu sirappudaithu inda ulagam. You cannot be there permanent. You be there, go away, some contribution, and go away. So we said about listening. Okay. I think I finished 4 tools, listening. Next, coming to the 5th tool, play. What is this play? Many people serious. They think serious means I'm a big man. They face like this. I'm a tough man. My dear great friends, seriousness is a disease. It's a disease, a neurotic disease. When you are serious, it's a disease. It's a playful attitude. Life is a game. That's why they told Lord Krishna. It's a playful attitude. Why you are taking serious? When you talk to your family, take the children, no, study seriously. What is this serious? You have to do in a playful attitude. These are all tools which is not done by me, my dear great friends. I learned this, I'm sharing with you. So, playful attitude. Take it easy. Cool. A cool guy, a relaxed guy, a very enjoyable guy. Life is fun. Life is celebration. Life is beauty. When you do yoga, I have to do yoga. What is? No, I'm enjoying my yoga. It's a yoga time. I'm enjoying my meditation. I'm very busy, sir. This is one of the stupid words. I'm very busy. Only who do not know the time management, they say busy. Even Prime Minister, President of India, they are okay. Oh, sir, you are very busy, sir. What busy? Jobless. Only jobless fellows will say, I am busy. It's about organizing. It's about prioritizing. It's about delegation. All that you learn in yoga, my dear great friends. So, playful attitude. Just enjoy. So now you are sitting in yoga. Yeah, I say very serious. What is there to be serious? Tell me. Suddenly the Wi-Fi can go away. Suddenly you can find Pattanru Vandar, Pottanru Bonar. Remember. Suddenly you have a heart attack. Now, earlier only old people will die. Now even young fellows, they die just like that. Just like that, like a flies, we all go away. So nothing to be serious. Okay, you do the job. This also proved scientifically, my dear great friends. They have done research on when the people are doing with a video game, they do better. They do with a playful method, they do better. When they do surgery with a relaxed atmosphere, it's better rather than tense atmosphere, because we have ourselves experienced when we are sitting with all of our colleagues and there's a very difficult operation. Oh, come on, you blame others, then operation will become utter failure. Instead of that, psychologically, you know the operation, your planned lack of preparation is a preparation for failure. That's also yoga, you have to prepare. Now, do you think I have to prepare? Yeah. And Sushila told me itself, I have prepared what I'm going to talk. I have done rehearsal, I have done a homework. I have done again 2-3 times homework. How much should I talk? What is that? Again, before this also morning, I think, okay, what are the point I should talk? Then it's called preparation. So my dear great friends, so what we are learning is playful attitude. Then it's a play. It's a child's play. It's not something very serious business. It's easy. Anything easy, relax. People make it. People, whoever says it's difficult, their ego is very high. They say yoga, no, you cannot do yoga, very difficult. You cannot do research, it's very difficult. PhD, that means they don't know. It has to be easy. Breathing is easy. Seeing is easy. Talking is easy. Everything is so many thousands and millions of neurons involved in this programming. Do you find it difficult to see? Do you find it difficult to raise your hand? How many 100,000 neurons are activating? Do you find difficult? No. Life is easy, simple is truth. Anybody making it hard, difficult, this is all something phobia, a paraphilia, just showing off. That yogis, they don't want. That's why they said, you must understand, many things are showpiece. Just projecting to the world. So what? Even nothing is a matter, only you are the matter. You are the chisel, you are the destiny, you are a stone, you are a sculptor, which you have to make it, my dear great friends. That's what yoga is teaching us. But in fact, we go behind people. For what? I didn't even understand. We go behind people. In the yoga field also, we go behind, oh, he's a great yogi. Ah, fine, we respect that fellow. Sorry about unparliamentary words, because you go, he's a Guruji. You respect them. And finally, you have to become Buddha. Not just follower of Buddha, you become a Buddha. That's what every saint, great saint, real saints wants. So, my dear great friends, we are finished with playful attitude. Even Obama, I was so happy after the presidentship. We went to ordinary restaurant. He was dancing with his daughters. He was the president of US. You have so much work to do, but it's okay. Happy time. Just playful attitude, relax, go and say something in goodness to your wife, to your children, entertain them. Sometimes when you go to the army, police, or academics, you have become a professor and you have become an educated fellow. Sometimes you become too much stubborn. You don't know the flow of life, flow of childhood. So next tool, we are going to come, my dear great friends. So I'm just recollecting with you, appreciation. This is the greatest of all the tools, my dear great friends. You must know how to appreciate. You must appreciate yourself. I think we are going sixth tool. Yeah. Appreciation, sixth tool. Appreciate yourself. Can you do this? No, sir, I am not good. Why? You're good. Otherwise, in the womb itself, you would have been aborted. If you are born in this world, that means you are good. You have some quality. You ask any youngsters, can you do that? No, sir, I am not good at it. No, appreciate you. I am good. I am good now. Appreciate others. Not finding all the time mistakes. Wife would have done some 10 dishes. Everything is all right. Only little bit salt is there. What is there? So many 10 items he has done. Instead of enjoying, you make cabbage the whole day. The husband will bring some beautiful saree to the wife. She will ask how much the cost. He will say 700 rupees. Oh, why? You can go get for 500 rupees. You are best, go and return it and come back. Husband never ever buy saree to her in the later part of the life. They want to show the ego. Instead of that, appreciate, oh, you thought about me. Oh, beautiful color. What a selection you are. Very nice. I'm happy. I'm proud to be your wife. Very nice of you. Do you really appreciate yourself? Do you appreciate others? When they start doing yoga, I used to tell all our trainers there, even Sushila may be remembering, not overcorrecting. Do like this, exact point, do like this. Who taught you? There are 100 schools are there. Only thing, the dynamics you must know. Not, you can do like this. You can do like this also. No, don't do like this. Don't do like this. A mistake. You demoralize. People, when they come to yoga, asana, they think I should not do yoga. You become like a teacher with a stick. Instead of that, you do lovefully, you do. Yeah, you're doing well. This they teach in Kundalini yoga. You're doing well, very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Little bit more. Little bit. Yeah, good. This is called appreciation, my dear great friends. You have to appreciate everything. When you start appreciating, again, good hormones develop. When you start condemning yourself, when you start condemning others, the steroid hormones, epinephrine, adrenaline, noradrenaline, these all secretes, is an aging hormone, which makes you dull, which makes you like, oh, I don't know anything, always condemning, always criticizing, always telling what is right, what is no, like this. So instead of that, one of the tool in yoga, sixth tool I am just sharing with you, my dear great friends, appreciation. Hope you all recollect. If 600 participants out of 400, 300, they repeated the 7 tools. My life mission. I am blessed. The last tool, but after that I'll talk until the time is there, is called reflection. End of the day, reflect. How was the day? Is it went on well? Yeah, good, Vishwanath. Good. Anything I have to improve? Yeah, probably I would have addressed who are the organizers. Yeah, I could have told this point. Okay, anything improvement? Not condemning, anything differently I would have done. Today I shouted a little bit with my wife. Yeah, not necessary. When the child was playing, I was not concentrated. I missed the great opportunity of the moment of my life. Yeah, I think when the child want to show, no, okay, shut up, don't do like that. I did like erratically wrong with me. I overthrown my emotion. I overthrown my emotional intelligence. Where it lacking? Somebody told me something. I got a little bit annoyed and irritated. Yeah. Somebody overshouted. Or somebody, I'm very pessimistic. Somebody kicked in my face. Okay, sir. Sorry, sir. I did like that. Or I had my own self-respect. How is the way? Is it anything? You ask yourself. You are your best guide. Yoga means not all the time docile and soft. Many people have go with the wrong impression. Yoga means, sorry sir, peaceful sir. Peaceful is good. When somebody disturb your kith and kin, your wife and daughters and sisters, you want to say, I'm a yoga man, I don't punish you. No, you put them on the track. If necessary, you should take away. Finish. That is what yoga, appropriate action. What is the right thing to do? Many times mistaken. Many people have a notion, yoga means you should not make money. Yoga means you should not do job. When I was at Annamalai, many of my colleagues and students, they used to come to yoga center. Doctors, they asked, sir, we want to do yoga. I said, good. He said, sir, very nice, sir. Yes, good, nice only. I want to leave my doctor profession, surgeon, and I want to sit and do all the time I want to do it, sir. I said, get lost, man. Get lost from here. So Vivekananda says, your action should speak, karma yoga. You have to do your job. If you do a computer in a beautiful way, that is yoga. Your life is yoga. If you have a beautiful husband, do what you are supposed to do, that is yoga. If you are a mother, you are supposed to be great yogis. They ask me, whom you are following. Many people, they ask me, which Guruji, sir, you follow. They asked me when I was there, which system, sir? I said, a granny, old lady, about 60, 70 years, even without a chappals. They used to sell brinjal, lady's finger, and banana, all that, without even a chappal, without even a bra. Old lady with all that wrinkles. She gets 50 rupees, 80 rupees. She goes and support her husband, who is not well. She's a real yogi to me. Not showpiece, not something I'm a yogi, all come behind me, ching-cha, ching-cha, ching-cha. This all, the crowd goes somewhere, you become a crowd puller. That is a crowd puller, my dear great friends. So real yoga is the way of life. See, Abdul Kalam, everybody want to respect. He came to Annamalai University. It was so simpleton. No paraphilia. Now you become something, you are head of the department. You think you achieved the whole thing. The whole billions of galaxies. In that, the whole earth is one dot, one small galaxy. In that Chennai, in that Annamalai University, in that I am a dot. What is it? And I say, I am, you know who I am? I'm a former medical superintendent of the hospital. What is this hospital? What we are talking? Where are we? What is this? All we have to understand, my dear great friends. So the tool reflection is very important tool, reflection. So I think I consolidated 7 tools. Hope I remember, because now I have to give work to my brain for remembrance. First I said meditation, good, you are noted down. And visualization I shared with you. Visualization, anything visualize, that becomes true to you. Then I said creativity, newness, come from heart. I said listening, listen here, listen others, see everything. Then I said play, playful attitude. I said appreciation. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate others. Don't miss any opportunity of appreciating people. You may not get it. When you want to appreciate your wife, sometimes she may not be there. After that, you will regret. The yoga is not regret. Yoga, when they are alive, you do it. You appreciate your children. No, don't condemn. Appreciate your parents. Appreciate yourself. And finally, I said reflection. So what happens when you apply these 7 tools? Now, the time is on you. I think Sushila can tell me when I have to finish 10 minutes earlier. Then question and answers. So 7 tools I shared with you. By these, what happens? The practical implication. When you start applying these tools, what happens? You start understanding you are a law of pure potentiality. You are nothing but an energy. You are not only body also there. Along with you are some energy. You start appreciating. So you spend time with nature. You are not judging people. He's like that, he's like that. You are not judging. You connect the space on and off. This is a practical implication of understanding who you are. Second, you start giving more, not taking all the time. I want love. Give me love. Please give me love. Please give me appreciation. Instead of that, you start giver. Law of giving is a secret. When you start giving, 100,000 times it start coming back to you without expectation. That's a code word. Underline. That's what Bhagavad Gita. You start giving without expectation anything, it will have to come. Even you say, I don't want it, it has to come to you. You think, I will get the name, it won't come to you. That is, you get it. Then you must have focus. You will have focus. You will become a great man, whichever field, because you know exactly what you want. You have focusing, clarity, pinpoint focus, intention and desire is so much. You may be passionate. That all quality will develop, my dear great friends. Another important thing will happen to you. It's called least effort. In fact, you don't do much, you start getting it. Initially, you have done the work in the previous life or this life. It's called least effort. You don't do anything, people start appreciating you, people start giving you, everything is given to you. This is what happened to you when you start practicing these 7 tools. You know, without doing much, you get everything. Simple. You also understand what is the purpose of my life, my dharma, why I am born in this world, what I am going to do, what is my contribution. Not all the time taking, I give. You start understanding all the secrets. In practical day-to-day life, you are emotionally, you are very good. You become a leader, you start giving. You are a cool and calm guy, collective, and whatever quality you start doing now or never. It's all mantras. You don't procrastinate. You don't waste your time. You don't wait for things to happen. You don't complain others. You start doing things. You doesn't start expecting something from someone else. Doesn't start uplifting you. You start uplifter. You yourself energy. You yourself start boosting. You start enjoying yourself. You start productive. You start giving. You start enjoying. You're not comparing. All that will happen when you enter into spirituality, my dear great friends. I think we have more or less, we have come to the end, I suppose. Anything now I can ask the comparing the people any time. What is the time? Because even I don't know how long I talk. Yes?
Sir.
Yeah, I can hear you, Sushila. You can tell me. You can put for question and answers. Anything, I'm happy. Anything you want to say? Fair enough.
Sir, we have 5 to 10 minutes, sir. So I have
Okay.
posted in the chat box. Dear participants, you have any doubt, any queries regarding SAR lecture, please post in the chat box. SAR will answer. It will open only for 5 to 10 minutes. Next session we have for that reason. Please.
Yeah. So any questions, I'll be more than happy. Meanwhile, before question comes, you also, yeah, wonderful message, sir. Thank you, sir. STC 446, 7 tools. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Dr. Muthukumaran, everyone. Yeah, any questions? You also, yeah, good. Thank you very much. You also know when to talk, when not to talk. It's called power of withdrawal. You get power of cooperation. You'll get. And you get values of cheerfulness and so many things you get. And STC, Meenakshi J, all beautiful. Yeah. Spirituality, by the way, is a woman energy. You know, that's one thing. Spirituality is giving, is a mother. You know, thank you so much, sir. Wonderful session. And yeah, cooperation you get, emotional intelligence you get, and you start realize, yeah.
How to expand our awareness?
Awareness. Yeah, how to be awareness by your body. That is why tools they have developed. The 5 tools, they develop the tools. That is, one is asana, there is pranayam. Because the mind cannot be controlled easily. Easy to control the breathing, much more easy to control your body. That's why they said asana. Stretch, you be in that posture, then with the breathing, then that is why you control, you develop awareness. Spending time with nature, you develop awareness. Non-judgmental, you develop awareness. Enjoying the fineness, you develop awareness. Enjoy the breeze, enjoy the people, develop awareness.
Okay, sir. Next, can you please elaborate on creativity? You wanted to... Again.
Yeah, creativity, as I said, creative is a unique phenomena. You remember Archimedes, when he was lying down in the bathtub, he just ran down naked on the streets of Athens. Eureka! That is, he found out the theory of displacement. Creativity, when you connect with the highest force, you start doing things, everything will become creative. It's not a mechanical way of doing things. You start connecting, it flows, the nature. You go, only you have to allow permission for yourself to be the instrumental. Then it's not which is right, which is wrong. You allow, you study. That means you have data. After data, you just let go. Through the conscious mind, you put data. Without data, you become imbecile idiot. You must have a data. Then it takes subconscious will take over and it gives a correct solution. If you don't know the answer, you just keep quiet, sleep over it, they call. Then automatically it will come. Okay? Yeah.
Sir, next they want a brief introduction about the Garbha Vidya, sir.
Yeah, Garbha Vidya is a beautiful science which we started in Annamalai University. I was head of the Department of Gynecology and Obstetrics and Medical Superintendent. With Garbha Vidya is a training the mother to the baby. It can be started at the earliest. When the mother become pregnant itself, we can start. Through the mother is the only portal. Mother is the only portal. All the tools what I mentioned, along with some asana, pranayam, mudras, visualization, each trimester, you can able to teach the mother with the creative. Not that we teach actually, we make them facilitative learning. Not that I advise, not that we tell them, do this, do that. Some amount of information is given. We extract from the mother. Yeah, what do you like? What song you like? Then she says, I like Krishna. Oh, beautiful. You start listening. Then you put some songs for the baby's sleep. Something energization, some colors, using psychoneurobics colors, using various tools, what all available, Bhakti Yoga, using song, all that you put through the mother, they start projecting and she start teaching to the baby inside, because baby can feel it. The plant can feel it, animal can feel it. Baby have a feeling that is proved beyond doubt. The baby can feel. Through that you teach. Yeah.
Sir, next, sir, they want a difference between psychology and spirituality, sir.
Psychology is a science which most of the time it deals with your mind, psychology, why, what, where. Spirituality is nothing but knowing yourself. It's the simplest definition. Knowing yourself, who you are really, and going maximize or potentiate your energy. That is a spirituality. Psychology is a kind of a science which decides, which sees everything. Is actually beyond. Psychology is beautiful. It's beyond psychology. Psychology, maybe, I don't know, I may be correctable. Some of the theories here is a practical experience of understanding spirituality. Spirituality is just not a theory. It's a practical tool. Knowing who you are is not about others. It's about you. Entirely is about you. That is a spirituality. Who you are, what you are. Ramana Maharishi simply she said, don't ask anything. Who am I? Don't answer. Answering maybe comes in psychology. It's not answering, just wondering, who am I? You don't even answer. You are upset, who am I? You don't have an answer for that. You start probing into that. Who am I? What should I do? Is it I am Dr. Vishwanathan? I want name or what? Who am I? That is what spirituality. Is it something I am Sushila? I am the coordinator. Or I am something else. You start answering to yourself. It's not something to prove. You are not proving somebody else, like that. This may be psychology, other science. This is your science. This is about you. That is what, according to me, is spirituality. So most of the time you spend with yourself. Yes, anything?
Sir, next, sir, how to handle fear and nervous on uncertainty?
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Uncertainty, more uncertain, more secure you are. That's the mantra. More uncertain, more secure you are. If you want certainty, what is certain? Tell me. I had my beautiful son. He's not here now. He's younger, 35 years. I know the pain. I am telling you openly. What is certain? Next breath you are certain? No, that is uncertainty. Uncertainty you start accepting. You start enjoying. More uncertain, more secure you are. It's good. Only thing certain is death. Nothing is certain. Next minute all can go down. Everything can shut down. So what happened? You start enjoying the uncertainty. It's beautiful to be uncertain. Everything programmed, everything planned. Okay, planning is required. I'm a planner, but not everything planned. What is life, You plan everything. life takes you in a different direction. I plan everything. I plan my clinic. I plan everything. I plan multi-million-dollar company. Suddenly, poof. Then that is what life is all about. So more uncertain, more secure. That is uncertainty, my dear great friends. Another thing what you asked is about fear. Fear is a beautiful phenomena. Fear, you can elevate from fear. Fear, you cannot say no. Fear is the greatest sin, but you can come out of the fear by knowing the fear. Sometimes you can be fearful, nothing wrong, but you know, I can handle fear, that's good. You cannot say, I don't want to have fear at all. You may have fear, that's okay, but I can handle it. I am capable of handling. That is what fear is it's a kind of energy. Yeah, fear can be tackled by knowing all this and practicing. Yeah.
Sir, next, how to strengthen our concentration during meditation practice, sir?
Yeah, this is main thing, simple thing, throw away all unwanted. This I asked one of my doctor colleague, how to do fastest operation. They said you must do it slowly. It's a paradox. You must do it slowly. Yes. When you want to do faster, you must do it slowly. You must do one by one. We want to memorize. You have data, all the Google from your head. You have become Google. You cannot remember. Throw away all unwanted. What is wanted, you remember. You focus. What you wanted is very less. That you remember. Other things you put in a different folder. That is the way you can concentrate, you can focus. Many times we concentrate on not wanted things. Some stupid thing, whoever said you start reading about yoga until your lifespan. 5,000 pages, 10,000 pages. I am a yoga pandit. Master, they give double PhD from your university. Even somebody can give. You can carry the PhD saying, I'm a PhD holder, I'm a PhD holder. I got first PhD. That is one way. Other way, you will start practicing. You don't want unnecessary things. I have enough PhD for my survival, my food. I have food to eat. I have my PhD. Your university has given. Thank you, sir. Then I start practicing. Action. Action without that, you start forgetting. It's not a theory. You have to act. Everything action. Very simple. We require not many things. Small and repetition. When you start repeating, you become very good. Newness, enjoyment, passionate about it. You start learning many things. It's a passion, love. Anybody learns to memorize for love? How to make love? You want to make a boy and girl love. You want to go to a movie. Anything teach you with a hard ear and you memorize that? All that? No. Because you like it. You want to go to a 7-star restaurant, you enjoy the food. Do you think very much, what is it? No, you enjoy. Same way you start doing with your subject. Same way you start doing with yoga. Same way you start doing with your life. You start enjoying everything. So the attitude towards the subject and not putting too much of information. This is what I think.
Thank you, sir. And the last question is 7 tools in life. Again, they want to.
Yeah, first is meditation, going within, enjoying yourself and beautifully spending time with yourself, morning and evening, daily do it. Your mind will say, I can do better work. Mind will say, instead of meditating, I can write my thesis. I can write, I can make 100 rupees. Why should I make? No, don't listen to your mind. You say, I will sit, even I die, I will sit 30 minutes or 40 minutes initially. That is first is meditation. First tool, everybody understood? Okay. Second tool, visualization. You start seeing before how is going to happen, what you're going to talk, what you're going to operate, how you're going to make money, how you're going to put in the bank, what will happen after your death. Everything you start visualizing. You write a will so that your offspring won't be in the orphanage. You start doing this visualizing. Visualize death. When you start visualizing death, you start living. Second tool is visualization, my dear great friends. Third is creativity. Already you become a new fellow, new innovation, become like a child, become an innocent flow, allow the flow to occur. Yeah, see, anything can be creative. See the beautiful Kannadasan songs, you become creative. Kannadasan, great creator. You listen to the air flowing, the leaves or drumming, you become a poet. Poets are creative, okay? Listen, you listen. Fourth is listen. Start from you. You listen yourself, listen to your heart. You listen to your others, non-verbal communication, listen to great saints, great masters, great people you listen. Don't think, I know everything. What do you know? Nothing, nothing. And what Socrates said, after all this, he said, I know nothing. That is what you listen from everybody. Listen your vibration, aura, and playful attitude. Just playful. Take it easy, huh? Take it relaxed, take it cool, take it calm, take it fine, relax. That's very, very tool. Then appreciation. Start appreciating you. Very important. Always start with you. Don't condemn. I am not good at this, sir. I am not a good student. I cannot do yoga, sir. Yeah, that is each fellow doing for 20 years. They can do some asana. You cannot do, so what? You try to go that. You start appreciating yourself. Last tool, reflection. You start reflecting. Now I have to reflect today. What went on well, what overboarded, what it would have emphasized, anything, reflection. These are the 7 tools. I think my memory is good because I have done more than 5,000 times these tools. The repetition is good. Again, now I really thank the organizers for such a given me opportunity. I remember Yoga Center. Every breath, I remember that because I have not done anything to be again come back. It all happens, the flow, it happens on its own. We are instrumental. I'm so happy I was instrumental, and Venkadajalpati and Sushila, Rukmani, other people. There are many, many people behind the scene, you know. We cannot just say only Vishwanathan, only the top man sitting there. There are many, many people behind. When I go to Brahma Kumaris also, I used to tell, many people in the kitchen, they do the work. Not every, your research scholars, everybody, they have done the work. Lot of people, that's a teamwork. That is yoga. Together, everyone achieve more. Expansion of consciousness is yoga. All together, all bringing everybody together. Not thinking you are not needed. No, I don't want you. You are dustbin. Not like that. Everybody. Your wife is the greatest spiritual master. Your grandmother is the greatest spiritual master. Go and touch your feet of grandmother. You'll learn more yoga than any university. I'm telling you honestly. Go and touch all your grandmother's feet. Go and touch them, hug them. I love you. I love you. I love you. Give me some advice. They touch your forehead, give some advice. You'll get yoga. Believe me, trust me, you'll get yoga. Okay. Thank you, Sushila. Anything else?
Thank you, sir. Due to shortage of time, close the chat. Otherwise, you would receive more questions.
Yeah. So I'm thankful to all of them. Anybody wants to contact, they can always contact Z, Body, Mind, Soul Solution. If you put Z, Body, Mind, or Dr. Vishwanathan Seduraman, I put a lot of YouTubes also, more than 1,000. This is my mission. Before I want to say goodbye to the world, I want to give it to people. Dr. Vishwanathan, that is my name, Seduraman, my father and son's name. Dr. Vishwanathan Seduraman, you can see all that. Everything available now, all can look at. I once again really thank for the opportunity to the administrative people, to the yoga center. Finally, I should not forget one person, one man. You know, who is that? Ella Pugalam Iraivanukke. Everything goes to divine, not something Sushila done, Venkadajalpati done, Vishwanathan done, Rukman. Enough of people. That man, that one man, not human beings. Don't elevate human being to the highest pedestal to the God. God is only one. That's it. No human. Vishwanath, you are a great man. I'm after all a human being. I'm coming with you guys. Only divine. End of the day, Ella Pugalam Iraivanukke. Thank you very much, Sushila. Thank you very much for the great audience, great listeners. I'm so thankful to each and every one. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your wonderful, inspiring speech. Definitely, participants, we feel very happy and glad because at the starting also, we have a very good feedback from the audience. After a long time, we were listening your lectures, sir. I cannot express it through words, sir. I feel, again, we have to come with the word again through you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Personally, I thank you.
Thank you.
Is my research professor. I'm proud to say that every time I'm proud to say that I am the first candidate of a research scholar in yoga under the guidance of able guidance of Dr. Vishwanathan sir. And I thank Dr. Venkadajalpati sir and Dean Faculty of Education and all the authorities, IQAC, secretaries, everything. Sir, Dr. Venkadajalpati sir is here. You please.
Yeah. Thank you, Sushila. You are a great helper. You are a great organizer with a spectacle. You are looking very little bit like a professor look you have.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm
Thank you very much.
Sushila. As usual, Sushila sir here. With
Thank you.
all the blessings and support and guidance, sir. So we are very happy, sir, to see you again in a long time. Thank you very much, sir, for joining with us. On behalf of the participants and Yoga Center and IQAC of Annamalai University, my gratitude to you and your family, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, Vengraju, sir, few words about sir. Sir, unmute, sir. Unmute.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Sir, mute.
Yes, madam. Now unmuted. Yes. Yes, madam. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for that organizing a wonderful seminar. Our special thanks to our IQAC director and that team, the deputy directors and organizing committee members, madam. Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, participants. Now, the second session is going to start. The topic is achieving inner control. Professor Dr. V. Suresh, sir, he is the former professor and head Department of Psychology and former director, Center for Yoga Studies of Annamalai University. Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir has completed the BA Psychology in Madras University in 1978, MA Psychology in Annamalai University 1980, MPhil in Education Madurai Kamaraj University 1982, and PhD in Psychology Annamalai University in the year 1998. Then he has the experience of 35 years in lecturer, from the lecturer and the professor between 1989 and 2014. He has served various postings from the lecturer to professors. And he has promoted as a professor and head Department of Psychology at Annamalai University from 2014 to March 2017. Then he is a director, Center for Yoga Studies from 2014 to 2017. And UGC visiting professor, Department of Business Administration of our Annamalai University between 2017 and September 2017. And honorary professor of Center for Yoga Studies, Annamalai University from December 2017 to 2018. And honorary professor, Department of Psychology of Annamalai University from April 2019, April 2020. And now he is the course director, CAR Institute of Behavioral Sciences at Chennai from 2018 till date. And he has received a prestigious award of Psychometric Education Award in the year 1998 by GCC School of Creative Intelligence and Research Foundation. He is a Distinguished Teacher Award of Annamalai University in the year 2007. Membership in the Indian Academy of Applied Psychology, British Psychological Society, International Neuropsychological Society. And he has guided MPhil and PhD scholars, and he has various articles published in the national and international journals in chapter of books, and he has delivered lectures during the conferences, and he has organized many national and international conferences, and he has given the radio talk. The title is the need for values in life. All India Radio Pondicherry on 17th October 2012. Of commitment and responsibility in the same All India Radio Pondicherry on 26th April 2013. So apart from this, he is a very good human being. He is a great psychologist. He has giving so many counseling during the pandemic situation also. So he is working with the yoga center. He is guiding and assisting whatever help we need. Immediately I will call Professor Suresh sir. And today also appreciated about the title and all. Sir has helped me to coin this title in this juncture. I thank you, sir, and for accepting our invitation. And he is going to deliver a session today, the second session, followed by Dr. Vishwanathan sir, achieving inner control. Thank you, sir. Thank you for inviting me, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, friends. I'm happy to join you all during this occasion. And when we were talking about the topics for the program, there was a lot of discussion, and one of the topics I thought would be achieving inner control. And when we see today's life, when you talk to your grandparents, they say from that you will be able to find out that they didn't even have 10% of the comforts that we have today. But when they recollect their life, they fondly recollect so many pleasurable experiences as well as events. Whereas today, with all the comforts, well, whether we are happy, we are running after happiness. And if you see topics of various programs, well, one of them would be on happiness. Why is that? When there are so many things for you, like in those days, an apple was a luxury. Whereas today, when you go to a shop, there are so many varieties of apples. In those days, the toothbrush was a luxury. Whereas when you go today, there is so much variety. The same way, in those days, only one soap was used by all the family members. Whereas today, each one has separate soap. And in those days, separate bedroom was not heard of. Whereas today we talk about separate bedroom, separate smartphone, etc. with all the comforts. Why is it that we say we are happy and happier than our grandparents? There is something wrong. The reason I would say is that our focus is faulty. I would say distorted as well as faulty. The reason is, say for example, when a child goes to school, the child should be happy going to school because he is going to meet his friends, he is going to learn new things, he is going to see a knowledgeable person in the form of a teacher, etc. But we see going to school is an unpleasant thing, a punishment. So the same way, so everything, we look at it like in the family, the interaction is very less. With all the gadgets, with all the facilities, etc., the interaction is very less. As a result, the bond among the family members has weakened. So that way, the same way, when you go to a hospital, it should promote the health of people, but they look at making a profit. So it is in that sense, in every respect, well, our focus is faulty. And we feel unsafe even in our own homes. Why do you need a CCTV camera at home? Your home is a place where you should feel safe, but you are not safe. Why should you have RTI? Why should you have CCTV camera even in a temple? That means we are unable to trust our own fellow human beings. We are able to trust a non-living thing, a machine, but we are unable to trust our own fellow human beings. When that is the case, when human beings are capable of loving, when human beings have so many positive qualities, why is it has happened? We see our own fellow human beings as competitors, as enemies, etc. And as a result, we are unhappy in life. Where have we gone wrong? That is where the problem is, because our focus is faulty, and as a result, we are moving toward wrong direction. So that is where the problem is. So when there is variety, what should happen is you have so many things, which means you must be able to choose the right thing, use it, which should promote happiness in you, but that is not happening. And what is the fault now? The fault is in those days, there was more of external control in life. Whereas today, well, external control has been minimized. With the development of technology, we are substituting technology for human effort. And as a result, the requirement of...
Sir,
yes,
next time, sir, I will put a next slide, sir.
Pardon?
You just mentioned next slide and I will put, sir.
Yeah, sure. So what happens here is when there is variety, there should be more happiness, but there is less happiness. So that way, we are moving in a wrong direction. Our perception is faulty. So unless the perception is set right, things cannot be improved. Quality of life cannot be improved. But unfortunately, we have not started talking about that. We are worried about so many things, like children are addicted to mobile phone. So you get them the mobile phone and you are worried about the addiction. And you have something called a parental control. Why is that? I don't trust my child. As a result, I control him from outside, and then the child gets a feeling that my parents don't trust me. He goes away from you. So that way, parents, teachers are worried about mobile addiction. The same way when you go to, let's say, for example, adolescent stage, there are many problems about which the society is worried about. Drug addiction among adolescents. Apart from the earlier addiction also, drug addiction among adolescents, and stress, academic stress. The same way, well, love affair, suicide. And when you go to the early adulthood stage, when the person gets married, should get established in the family life, we hear more of divorce. The same way in the middle age, the person feels lonely. In the old age, when he should have a sense of achievement, the person feels insecure in life. So right from the beginning till the end, there are one problem after the other. That means what needs to be done now. So that is where we thought the present topic could be useful. So the current focus of life, right now, if you see, we have become more materialistic in the sense money, wealth, and external possessions are valued relatively more than the fulfillment of psychological needs. Now, in those days, if you see in our olden day, human beings were respected for their inner qualities, not for their outer possessions. That's where you can see when you study books on history, etc., you would see that saints were more respected than a king. Teachers were more respected than a rich businessman. Why is that? The reason is, well, when saints are more respected than king or anybody else, the reason is that this person has developed a highest level of inner control, because he is supposed to lead a life with bare minimum requirements. The restriction was such, or the expectation was such, or what he is supposed to follow is such that when he has enough food for the lunch, he is not supposed to store for supper. So he was happy with that. The person had attained such a highest level. The same way, the teacher was respected in those days. Why is that? Well, acquiring knowledge in those days was not easy. Money was not easily available. And there was no internet or email or whatever it is. So the teacher would have acquired the knowledge by compromising on many needs in his life, the present day needs. He would have compromised to buy books or to get the source of the knowledge, etc., to acquire that. He would have sacrificed on so many things. Then when he acquired knowledge, which many people could not acquire, this person has acquired. And in those days, teachers were happy about sharing the knowledge for the benefit of others, to enrich the lives of others. So he was more concerned about giving this knowledge to others so that their life would be better. He was not bothered about what he would get in return. So it was a pressure, because he knew the difficulty of getting knowledge, and as a result, he wanted to make it available to others. So a teacher was respected. So human beings were respected for their inner qualities. But gradually what happened as our focus has shifted from looking at human beings to outside world, things in the outside world. And as a result, we go after money, acquiring wealth, etc., rather than fulfillment of our psychological needs, as well as fulfilling the psychological needs of others who depend on us. And in that sense, you become a person who is psychologically deprived. But the fulfillment of psychological needs are more important than money or wealth. They are important only up to a level. That is not everything in life. but we try to see that is everything in life. So ultimately, our current focus of life is faulty. We have become materialistic to the core. How much material is required and how much human relations are required, human connections are required, how our psychological needs can be fulfilled, if we have failed to see it in that angle. So from one extreme, we have gone to the other extreme. And in those days, there was a joint family system. Humans were valued more. When the child of your relation actually has joined a college in your place, the family would expect that the child is going to stay in the family. He will go to school. If they say, I would like to put them in the hostel, the whole family will be unhappy because they will see this child also as their own child. So that was the attitude. Whereas today, when someone says, well, my child is going to join school or college in your place, we start concerned about it. We try to see how we can avoid this child coming to my house. So that is the type of attitude that has developed over a period of time. So that is the current focus of life. Next slide, please. Then why is that? What is the reason for materialistic attitude, materialism in us? There are various explanations. One is we perceive something to be better than it actually is because you don't have it. So just because I don't have it, I see it better than what I have. So that way, what happens here is when you don't have a mobile phone, for example, when all your friends have a mobile phone, you want to buy a mobile phone. So you get a basic model. Initially, your focus is on the model. You are happy about acquiring the mobile phone, but after some time, your focus goes to the outside world and you see that your friends have got a better model than you, then you are unhappy. So you are restless until you get the latest model. So that way, we tend to believe that what we don't have is better than what we have. So in the sense, we fail to make use of and enjoy what we have. So our focus becomes goes to what we don't have. So when you practice it again and again, you become more skilled in looking at what you don't have rather than what you have. And keep in mind, the mind becomes more skilled in what it practices very often. So when you practice to look at what you don't have, then you become more skilled in looking at what you don't have rather than looking at what you have. So ultimately you are unhappy. Then another one is items are more easily attainable than alternatives. When you say items are more easily attainable, well, buying something is more easy rather than doing something for that. Like, for example, when there is an important occasion, I come there and do some help there, involves time, energy, etc. Whereas getting that is easier. Like, for example, when there are guests, if your mother or grandmother was an expert cook in those days, when the guests came, they spent more time in the kitchen preparing good food for them because they enjoy doing that. I am competent in that. I want to do my best for them. As a result, I want to put my effort for that. And when any other family member suggested that we can buy it from a hotel, etc., they would have got offended. Why? Because when I'm a competent person, how dare you say that? I feel insulted. That was the way they looked at it. Whereas today, what do we say? Well, when the guests come, say that I'm going to come on such and such date, immediately you book in the hotel because it is easier to attain. So giving things is easier. The same way, say, for example, when there are natural calamities, etc. Nowadays, money and things pour in. But what is needed is your effort, your help. Well, by throwing money, you cannot have food. Some other human being has to put in the effort, has to prepare the food. So you need human effort there. Whereas for us, so as a result, what happens here is, we feel guilty about not doing any help there personally. So by giving money, we try to wash away our guilt feeling. So we are liberal in making contributions. So items are more easily attainable than development of skills, etc., because that needs time, that needs effort, etc. So that is another reason. Next slide, please. The next one is commercial conditioning influences more than we think. Next slide, please. So when you say commercial conditioning, day in and day out, these advertisements, maybe in newspapers, maybe in magazines, maybe in TV channels, etc. Well, they are flooded with advertisements. So these advertisements, when you see, it actually tempts you more and more. So that is why it increases the temptation in you. Already you would be tempted. So it increases the temptation in you. So when it increases the temptation, the mind goes after the pleasure. It wants the pleasure. So when it wants the pleasure, you want to have it somehow. In those days, even buying a second-hand cycle was so satisfying. Whereas today, even buying a new car is not so satisfying. Why? Because it does not involve any effort on your part. All that you'll have to do is to sign the papers and then pay it little by little every month. Whereas in those days, even to buy a second-hand cycle, you had to save little by little. So you had to make compromises on some of your needs, etc. That gives you a sense of achievement, a sense of satisfaction. Whereas which is not the case now. And the thing is, it is the commercial conditioning is so much that even when you listen to spiritual or religious discourses in the morning, the speaker tells you that you must lead a simple life and your need should be minimum, you must control your requirements and all those things. But in between comes advertisement. On the one side, this person is preparing you for controlling your pleasure-seeking nature. On the other side, the advertisement is strengthening your already existing pleasure-seeking in nature. So we are becoming more and more pleasure-seeking in nature, and ultimately we become more and more materialistic. The next reason is society glorifies item possession. Like in those days, they did not care much about a rich man. They cared about a knowledgeable person. Whereas today, well, the society glorifies item possession. You feel proud about saying that I have the latest model of the smartphone, and I have a home theater at home, and I have the latest, I have an imported car, and I have a bungalow in a posh locality, etc. So the society glorifies. As a result, you want to possess more and more of that, though you don't need them. Like when you get the latest mobile phone, there are so many features in that. How many features do you regularly use? Do you really need that? We don't look at, many of us do not even know 50% of the features the phone has. A young child will tell you. Then why do you need it? Why do you spend so much on that for which you don't require? Because the society glorifies, and so when you don't have it, you feel inferior. As a result, you buy that. You become more suggestible, more vulnerable by doing that. That is why we are becoming psychologically weaker day by day. Then we crave for acceptance, love, and status. What happens here is only when you have these things, you would be accepted in your group. So only then your friends would love you. Only then you will be equal to their status, etc. And as a result, for that reason, we become materialistic. So these are the various reasons why we have become materialistic over a period of time. Because as I told you, our parents, grandparents did not have even the bare minimum needs fulfilled. And as a result, in the society, people were attracted more toward material aspects, which they did not have in those days. But they had human beings around them for support. So that appeared to be secondary or unimportant for them. And gradually our focus went to the material possessions. Now we have become materialistic to the core. Somehow we want that. So ultimately what happens? When you don't have money to buy that, you have the credit card. Or when you don't have the money, the bank offers you easy loan. And all these things only strengthen your pleasure-seeking nature. They make you more and more selfish. So you don't care for other people. So when you become more and more selfish, you go away from people. But at the same time, in human beings, there is a need for love and affection. There is a need to be with human beings, the need for affiliation, etc. All these needs do not get fulfilled, and ultimately at some point of time you feel lonely and you feel insecure, etc. So these are the reasons for materialism. Now, what is the impact of materialism? See, on the one side, you see, we tend to believe that when I have more and more material possessions, I will become happier. But actually, that is not the case. When you become more materialistic, then what happens is we treat others in more competitive, manipulative, and selfish ways. I'm repeating, materialists are sad. The reason is they treat others in more competitive. So when you compete, you go away from people. Competition divides people. And unfortunately, in the present day society, everywhere you say competitive examination. When you say competitive examination, I'm competing with somebody else and I want to achieve that. So ultimately, you treat others or you see others as people who are harming you. That is why I would, as a student of psychology, I would prefer a different term for these examinations. I would prefer to say, call them self-assessment examinations or self-assessment examinations, etc., rather than competitive examinations. So that way competition divides. And unfortunately, what happens, you will see later on, yoga is supposed to unite, but nowadays we see competition, yoga competition. I feel psychologically, as a student of psychology, I feel that there should not be competition based on yoga. That means you are going against the spirit of yoga. That's what I would say. And when I was with the yoga center, when we were discussing about celebrating the International Yoga Day, we were discussing about various things. And there were suggestions from some people that we can have yoga competition. Then my colleagues in the yoga center, like Dr. Venkatachalamdi, Dr. Susila, Dr. Rukmani, and other people suggested that let us not have competition here because yoga should unite people, it should not compete. So that way, then we had cultural programs which everyone appreciates. So we become, materialists are more competitive. They are more manipulative in the sense they are not truthful. Say they try to pretend to be affectionate, caring, etc. And then they try to do all these things to people in order to attain their own selfish ends. As a result, when such a person is introduced to somebody else saying that he is a general manager or is a managing director, etc., the person would see, well, in what way can I make use of this person? That is the attitude. He's not happy about the relationship. He tries to see how I can make use of this person. We become more manipulative and selfish. So even the customer care today is not with the real spirit of caring for the welfare of the customer. That is not the case. If I provide customer care, I can attract more customers, so I can make more sales, and as a result, my profit will go up. Whereas in those days, that was not the case. So, as a result, we treat others with being less empathetic. We don't understand their feelings. We don't care for them. So we are less empathetic. We are unable to see them from their perspective. As a result, we see them as different from us. And as a result, I don't care for them. That type of an attitude comes in. That is why, so initially when they are not empathetic, they fail to develop genuine relationships. And they develop only relationships which help them in their profit right now. So they fail to develop genuine relationships, and later on, when they go away from the business and they want genuine relationships, they don't see. And such a thing happens even within the family, because the person is busy making money, and his idea is, when I save more money, more wealth for my family, my children, my life partner, well, they will be comfortable more. But he doesn't realize that, well, it is my responsibility to give love and affection. Only then I will get it back from them. He failed to see that. And later on, when the children, when they grow up and when they don't care for him, when they say, I will put you in a comfortable old age home, this person is sad. Why? Because he doesn't want an air-conditioned room. He doesn't want a big TV, etc. All that she or he requires is you come and then you speak to me for a few words of care and concern. That is what is needed. But you gave me money and material comforts, I am giving it back. And I interpret that it is only care and concern. So ultimately, the real psychological need is not fulfilled because the focus is wrong. So when you get more and more, when you accumulate more and more wealth, you become sad rather than happy. That is one. The second one, these materialists, when they feel insecure, insecurity is a psychological condition. There may be, even if there is no security outside the house, when you feel psychologically secure, you relax. Whereas when you feel psychologically insecure, even if there are 100 people around you to guard you, still you are restless. Why? Because you may be harmed by somebody. So as a result, in the face of insecurity, materialists, what happens is they become more materialistic. They want to accumulate more wealth, more money, etc. When they feel threatened because of rejection, etc. So instead of becoming less materialistic, they become more materialistic, which in turn aggravates their insecure feeling. It is a cycle. And materialists are unhappy because these people neglect their psychological needs. So when needs are not well satisfied, they report lower levels of well-being and happiness as well as more distress. Because at home we sit together, we don't even communicate. Communication is not talking about politics, talking about external world, etc. Communicating is about sharing our personal feelings, whether it is positive or negative, etc. Sharing and then addressing the feelings, and we try to address the feeling of the other person, console the person, make him feel better, etc. That is what is expected. So when we interact with people, what needs in those days, people share things with people who were intimate. And such people understood the feeling, they try to provide support, either material or psychological, etc. And as a result, people felt secure. Whereas today, what happens here is, well, even within the family, such a bond is not there. So when such a bond is not there, children, we talk about many things outside, but we don't talk about our personal aspects. As a result, the gap between us remains forever, and ultimately you feel insecure because the psychological needs are not met. So once I was talking to a young boy, a son of my friend, who had completed his +2 at that time, and he used to talk about a few of his close friends who were his classmates. So every time when I visited them, he used to talk about them. So he said that they were my very close, intimate friends. When his +2 results came, he was talking about what he was going to join in college, etc. And then I asked him, well, what happened to your good friends? What is it that they are going to do? No, uncle, we don't talk about those things. Actually, if you are intimate, if you are close, you will have to talk only about such things. It is only sharing feelings that strengthens bond among people. And when you interact with somebody, address the feeling. It is not the words. Look at the feelings behind the words. Address those feelings. It is that which fulfills the psychological needs of the individual. But unfortunately, in the present day culture, that is not there. And as a result, materialists are unhappy. Right. Now, what is the solution? What has to be done now? Okay, I can understand that I'm unhappy. I can understand why it is happening. Then we are deep into this type of a culture. So it is not that one individual changing is going to change the whole world. That's why we say, well, harmonizing the self first. Integrate your things, your needs, your wants, your desires, and your capabilities, your potentials, etc. Harmonize them, and then try to integrate it with the external world, harmonize it with the external world. and then try to go. When you do that, you are a person with internal harmony as well as external harmony. So what has to be done now? What needs to be done is, it is necessary to promote views that are opposite to the goals of materialism. Like you are bombarded with a variety of things in everything. So very attractively displayed. And as a result, you are tempted every minute in your life, right? From the moment you get up in the morning till you go to bed, every single minute you are tempted. So your mind wants to attain the pleasure. So the mind becomes more and more pleasure seeking in nature, because the external world actually capitalizes on your weakness here. So you become more and more pleasure seeking in nature. So when you become more and more pleasure seeking, you want the pleasure right now, immediately, somehow within inverted commas. Then you don't care about the means, you don't care about harming somebody, or don't care about stealing somebody's property, etc. So what is necessary to promote, to do that? Everyone knows the solution. What you need is, if I do not want that, I must have a strong willpower, what can otherwise be called as inner control. So inner control can be called in different names like determination, willpower, etc. So what is to be done? Everyone knows that willpower is required. I have to strengthen my willpower if I have to control my temptation from the outside world. So everyone knows. And also everyone knows that they don't have the skill. Every day people switch on the TV, listen to the religious or spiritual discourses, which practically beautifully is being explained as to what you need to do to enhance your enduring happiness, what you need to do to be peaceful in your life, etc. And then people enjoy listening to that, and then switch off the TV, and then you go to again your materialistic way of life. Why is that? You have been practicing the materialistic system for quite a long time, so you have become more skilled in that. And as a result, you say, well, if I change, India is not going to change, so I am not going to change it. It is beautiful, but how are we to do that? People just don't practice any of them. So if we need to overcome the difficulty, it is necessary to promote views that are opposite to the goals of materialism. Now, I have told you the goals of materialism. So now I ask you to do what not to do. But usually what needs to be done is, when I tell you something, or when you tell me something, you must tell me what I need to do rather than what I should not do. But we are experts in telling the other person what he should not do. What should I do? Now that's your choice. We leave it at that, because we do not want to take responsibility here. We run away from that. But the thing is, we need to tell them what needs to be done. And that is a great advantage with yoga, which we'll talk about later on. Yoga tells you what you need to do. It doesn't advise you what you should not do. It doesn't tell that at all. It tells you what you need to do. Then it becomes easier to follow. Then it becomes easier to practice, rather than putting it in a negative way. Which means, what are the goals which are opposite to materialism? Treat others in more cooperative and compassionate way. So what happens here is, try to provide cooperation, cooperate with others, make compromises with some of your needs, cooperate with others. Then invite cooperation from others, try to do joint things. Like, for example, in a family, this lockdown period, people were talking more about distress, because I am unable to go out, I am unable to work, I am unable to see my friends, this, that, etc. But the thing is, it should have been very usefully spent if people had realized that. For example, cooperation, in the sense, all these years, well, each one was minding their business in a normal day. Well, the mother was busy in the kitchen, the father was busy with something else, the child was busy with the homework, etc. When all the 24 hours, all the family members are under the same roof, then they could have found some time when they could cooperate. When you say cooperation, what does it mean? Well, we share activities which should be done every day at home. Find out some time. Each one has a role. Cooperate, ultimately arriving at a common goal. So cooperation, opportunities for cooperation should develop at home. So develop ways of cooperating with each other. And compassionate way. When you say compassionate, we should not confuse it with self-pity. Compassion is accepting both your strengths and weaknesses, at the same time having a respect for you. Self-pity is looking down upon you. The same way, lack of compassion for the other person, you look at the other person as an inferior person. When you say compassion, you look at him as an equal. That is a more matured way of looking at that. So treat others in more cooperative and compassionate way. Don't try to see what he does. He may harm you. He may compete with you. Ignore that. You keep cooperating. In the long run, that will have its own benefit. You will see. Another thing that you need to keep in mind is people notice negative things instantly. For positive things to be noticed, it has to be practiced for a long period of time. Why is that? Negative things harm us or hurt us immediately, so we react. Whereas positive things, that is what is expected. So people don't pay much attention to that because that is expected. So as a result, it goes on. So for that to be noticed, you must consistently practice it for a long period of time. That is what is important. So that way, follow that over a period of time. Don't try to see what the other person is doing for you. The second one, when you feel insecure, move closer to people, not away from them. Share your insecurity with them and so seek people's company. Then talk to them. Then they provide you the required support, the required consolation, etc. And that helps you. So go closer to people. Then identify your needs. How? By looking within. You cannot identify your needs by looking outside. If you look at outside and try to identify a need, you may be able to say what type of car that I like, what type of food that I like, what type of dress that I like. But the thing is, what is it that satisfies my long-term need? We don't understand. So looking within and take right action to satisfy the same. So when you say look in, when you need a smartphone, do I really need a smartphone? What purpose does it serve? Well, let others think anything about me. That doesn't matter. What purpose does it serve? So what type of model do I require? I don't need an expensive phone. This is required. Right action to satisfy the same. So that is what has to be practiced. Now, if that has to be done, next slide, please. If that has to be practiced, you need to develop a quality, what is called as willpower or inner control. Now, I'm saying inner control. The reason is there were control from outside earlier, but the control has been relaxed. And as a result, when the control has been relaxed in the outside world, then your mind day in and day out tempts you to seek more and more pressure because more things are available there. Nobody is going to criticize you. Nobody is going to reject you. So as a result, get more and more of the pressure. So the mind actually goes after pressure now. So when the mind goes after pressure, there are two alternatives here. One is helping a tendency or the skill of the mind to control its temptation. That would be ideal. The other one would be external control. But practically speaking, both of them are required at a balanced rate. Too much of external control can deprive the person of many of even the lower level needs. And too much of relaxation actually make you more pressure seeking in nature as it is happening in the present day life. So both are required, but I prefer to talk about willpower, internal control during this program. The reason is that this is what is required now. Changing the outside world is not going to take place immediately. But when you try to develop a skill within you, and when you're able to derive the benefit out of that, that brings in a transformation within you. When you experience the transformation, experience within inverted commas. Well, when I talk now, I'm giving you a lot of information. That is not enough. There is a lot of information available today through internet, through WhatsApp, etc. But we don't practice them. As a result, we don't apply them in our real life situation. Whereas what is needed is to help you to see how it has to be applied in real life situation. Because nowadays, people conduct so many what they call as awareness programs. And personally speaking, many of these awareness programs, they give a lot of information, knowledge, many of them are not used. So they are useless. Because when you tell me that willpower is the solution, you already know that willpower is required. But how am I to develop that? And what are all the challenges in developing that, etc. are the ones. And you must help me to practice that also. Only when I practice, I know how to do that. So only then you can develop the skill. That is where our IQAC makes it practical oriented. When the Yoga Center was planning for this program, the Vice Chancellor as well as the IQAC Director specifically told include a practical component in that, because theory alone is not enough. So you are going to have a practice session also. The practice session sensitizes you, but you must go back and try to continue the practice. Just doing it one day during a session or during a class will not do that. Human skills take a long time to be developed. That is why I always say there is no overnight solutions to human problems. You must take effort, you must put in the effort, you must persist with that. There may be challenges, you must overcome the challenges for which willpower is required. Right. Next slide, please. So what is willpower? Willpower is the ability. When you call something an ability, that means it is developed with practice. It is not just ready-made that is there in you. That is not the case. So it develops with practice. It is the ability to delay gratification. So what is gratification? The mind wants something immediately. So when it wants something immediately, when you give it again and again, what happens? The mind will become stronger in seeking immediate gratification. So when you want immediate gratification, so ultimately what happens? You become more and more selfish. You will do anything for the pleasure, and ultimately we indulge in faulty practices also. Like for example, corruption is one such thing. Because I cannot afford it within my salary, but somehow I want that. As a result, I take extra bribe from somebody, shortcut. So because I'm unable to control my temptation. So that way, it is an ability when you practice that over a period of time persistently. It is not that you do it today and after about 10 days, you try to do it again. No, it should be continuous. So delay gratification. When you delay gratification, things outside will change. Your way of looking at it can change, because right now you are impulsive, you are emotional, as a result you want it immediately. Whereas when you postpone that, well, your perspective can change, your perspective can become more materialistic, and as a result your way of looking at things, your way of dealing with it will be more positive, more desirable, more constructive, etc. That is why if you see the traditional Indian way of life, this was there. The thing is, when you wanted a new dress, you cannot get it on any day. Even if the parents can economically afford it, they said, why do you want a new dress? You have 3 or 4 sets of dresses now. Why do you need it now? No, wait. Well, wait for what? For an occasion. So the occasion was a function, a Diwali, Pongal, or birthday, or what. Till then, you'll have to wait. So this provides an opportunity to delay gratification. So when you delay the gratification, you put in effort, you wait for that. You control your desire, you control your wish, and for which you put in effort. So when you are peacefully waiting for the occasion, because you pretty well know that until the occasion comes, you are not going to get it. So you are peaceful there. You mind your other activities without any disturbance, without any restlessness, etc. Then when the function comes, well, you are waiting for that, and then your parents take you to the shop, and either they make you choose the dress, or many times the parents chose the dress and they bought it. And children were thrilled about it. They never bothered about the design, and they never bothered whether it fits them perfectly, etc. Well, I have got a new dress. They were thrilled about it. Look at the type of happiness they would have had. They were thrilled not because they are getting a new dress, also because I have put in an effort. I have waited so long. So I have put in an effort. So I have a sense of satisfaction in getting it. So that is what it is. And when the child asks for a sweet, the parents would say, why do you need a sweet now? Well, anyway, for the function we are going to buy, or anyway for this we are going to wait till then. So there was delay of gratification, and this delay of gratification helped in developing this inner control. Yes, I need to wait till then, otherwise I will not be able to get. So delay of gratification. The same way, for example, on important, let's say, religious functions, the elders will ask children to wait until the ritual is over. The child would be hungry. The child would say, well, I'm hungry, I want food immediately. The parents will say, well, unless we offer it to God, we should not eat it. So you wait till then. It may take about half an hour or 15 minutes or half an hour or 1 hour. Well, the child had to delay the gratification now. So as a result, these ways, there were opportunities created to delay gratification, which in turn developed inner control. The same way, communication. In those days, you had to write a letter. So you had to take a paper, you write a letter, you try to see what you want to communicate, you write a letter, and then you post it. So what happens? You must have time to write the letter. 1. Number 2, you post it. Once it is posted, the person will, it may take about 1 or 2 days for the person to receive the letter, and then he has to write a reply, and it may take about 4 or 5 days for you to get a reply, and you pretty well know that earlier you cannot get a reply. So you could delay the gratification. But look at what happens now. Subsequently, what happened? You could not wait for communicating through letter, the telephone came. So in those days, when the telephone came, you had to wait for about 4 or 5 hours to get a call, to book a call and get connected to the person. So from 5 days, 5 hours was much better. But when you got used to this, again, you became restless to wait for 4 or 5 hours. The STD came. So through the STD, you could get connected immediately, but the person should be available at home. So when he's not available, you will have to wait for him to come back. So the mobile phone came. Now with the mobile phone, you are able to connect to the person at any time, 24/7. So ultimately, all these things promote only selfishness. There is no opportunity for delay of gratification. Then why do you talk about 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G? You want the speed. Why do you want the speed? Except in certain professions, most of the common men do not need such a speed, but I want it. Why? I do not want to wait. So delay of gratification is minimized, and as a result, we become more and more impulsive. Our willpower has been weakened. On the one side, the need for willpower is growing. On the other side, the willpower is weakening day by the practices in the outside world. So delay of the ability to delay gratification. 1, resisting short-term temptations. So if I need a cycle, I should not eat too much chocolate. So about buying of 2 or 3 chocolates, I can reduce, I can save the money day by day. Resisting short-term temptation. For what? To meet long-term goals. So once I buy a cycle, then I can go long distance, I can meet my friends, etc. So to meet, on the one side, you control short-term temptations. On the other side, you try to see the long-term goal. So willpower guides you toward the long-term goal, and ultimately you grow, you develop, you become stronger, and as a result, your approach, your way of life and your goals become healthy, and as a result, there will be sense of achievement, there will be sense of satisfaction, etc. In other words, willpower refers to a strength that gives us the ability to control our thoughts and behavior. I'm repeating, willpower is a strength. It is an inner strength, I would say, a strength that gives us the ability to control our thoughts and our behavior. It controls your thought in a nice way, in a positive way, and which in turn controls and regulates your behavior also. And as a result, your way of doing things, your way of thinking, your way of approaching, everything becomes right. So it focuses on the right direction. As a result, willpower is an important capacity that we need to develop. So what is the need for willpower in the present day life situation? Next slide, please. So in the life situation, one, it is a life skill. When you call something a life skill, you require the skill in your day-to-day life very often. So it comes only with practice. That is where I put the responsibility of the parents, of the teachers initially, and then the society continues. But present day parents, I would say, are highly irresponsible. They don't do anything to develop this in their children because many of the parents themselves don't have a willpower. That is where the problem is. So it is a life skill that it cannot be taught just in a classroom. That is not the case, because nowadays there is a attitude to incorporate everything in school education. When there is an environmental problem, we say environmental education. When there is a moral problem, we say moral education. Well, providing them in the classroom alone is not going to solve the problem. It can help them to get the knowledge, it can help them to write the examination, it can help them to get a good grade, but it is not going to solve the problem outside. If it has to solve the problem outside, I should see whatever I learn, I should see its needs outside. Then I must have opportunities to apply it in a real life situation. Only then I will see its usefulness and the willpower will develop. So as a result, it is a life skill that needs to be developed by practicing every day in every possible situation. Number two, it is an inner strength. Because when somebody controls you from outside, when that is not there, when the outside control is not there, you act in a highly irresponsible manner. Whereas when there is inner control, you don't care about outer control at all. So as a result, it is the inner strength. It is a strength from within, and that guides you so you don't bother about what others do. Then it is a power to achieve goals, because to achieve goals, you have to put in effort, you have to endure, you have to persist. Both of them are important. You cannot go achieve long-term goals instantly. That is not possible. So which means it has a long-term goal and you have to endure. When I say endure, what it implies is as you proceed, you will see challenges or you will see blocks. So you will have to put in the pain or you will have to put in the inconvenience or whatever you call to overcome that. So you will have to endure. Number two, you must continue with your efforts. You must persist. Both of them are essential. So when you are convinced of your goal, criticism from others may not bother you much because you have already considered all those criticisms. So it is a power to achieve long-term goals. It aids in overcoming laziness, in the sense when there is inner strength, when there is inner motivation, then you will be restless until you achieve the goal. So that will stimulate you more and more. So you will never remain lazy. You will never try to postpone things, etc. As a result, it aids in overcoming laziness. Somebody need not prompt you to do something. Well, this inner power will make you, will prompt you to do on your own. Then it controls unnecessary harmful impulses, because you look at long-term goals, then you look at the means to the goals also. So when you do that, it helps you to control unnecessary harmful impulses, harmful to yourself as well as harmful to others, because you try to see both sides. And when you have considered all the limitations, challenges, etc., then you are convinced about going out. It develops courage. You are not afraid of facing challenges. Whereas many people are afraid of facing challenges now. When it comes from within, it gives you the courage. Even if all the people criticize you, you go ahead with that. I give you an example here. There is a psychologist by name Sigmund Freud. And nowadays, when you say Freud, the thing, it is a household name when you mention the term psychology. It is a household name throughout the world. Then Freud's basic assumption or the notion of his theory is that unfulfilled sexual wishes are the ones which cause disturbances in our behavior. So, which needs to be rectified. So they are the causes, and he viewed human beings in a very negative way. And so he stated that, well, sexual desires or wishes are the cause of the problem in our life. And everyone, his own close friends, told him that his ideas are filthy and discouraged him from going ahead with the publication. But Freud was very much convinced with his ideas. So he went ahead with the publication. When he published that, his own close friends, very close friends, all these years, when they came from the opposite side on the road, they crossed the road in order to avoid Freud. This was the isolation, or this was the insult he was experiencing. And if he were afraid of all these criticisms from close friends, etc., well, Freud would not be known today. Whereas today we see him as a great psychologist. Any branch of psychology you touch, without touching the name of Freud, you cannot go. You may disagree with him, you may agree with him. That's a different thing. So, as a result, ultimately Freud had the courage. Why? He had the inner strength to tell people that my ideas are worthy, my ideas are useful, my ideas are right. So he had the courage. So you need to go ahead with that. And it develops inclination to potential ambitions, unique ideas and concepts. So what happens, this willpower gives you new ideas, new approaches, and as a result develops ambitions. Why not I try this? Why not I do that? Etc. So it gives you ambitions. It develops ability to find solution to problems. So what happens? What is a problem? Either you may not know the goal or you may not know the means to the goal. That is what you call as a problem. Whereas your willpower tells you, well, let me try this. If it is wrong, you are not afraid of committing a mistake. Please keep that in mind. Never be afraid of committing mistakes. Instead, be happy about committing mistakes and learn from mistakes. That is important. Where did I go wrong? Because when you are afraid of committing mistakes, you will never progress. Like, for example, the usual example that I give is, you get a basic model of a mobile phone to a child of, let us say, 10 years old, to a person of 50 years old. Now, what should happen is, logically speaking, the 50-year man, by virtue of his experience, his maturity, should learn about all the features of the mobile phone rather than the young child. But practically, what do we see? The third day, the young child will tell you every feature of the phone, how to make use of the phone, how to share the slides when your program is going on, etc. But we do not know what it is. What is the reason here? We are afraid of committing a mistake. We are conditioned to avoid committing a mistake. We are not conditioned to do right things. No, that is secondary. So we are conditioned to avoid mistakes. So as we grow older, we are afraid of committing mistake. So because we are afraid of committing mistake, we don't make use of the phone at all. We use only to the minimum. Beyond that, we don't learn anything about the phone. Whereas the young child, he's curious. He's not afraid of mistakes. He's curious. As a result, he keeps on meddling with the phone and learns everything about that. So that way, we must look at the positive aspect. When there is a mistake, learn from where is the mistake, what is the mistake, how can I go about it, etc. That should be the attitude that we need to develop. Do things. Let it be inferior. Mistake doesn't mean you are a born inferior person. That is not the case. Mistake means you are yet to learn. So failure is not the result of falling down. Failure is the result of staying down. Failure doesn't mean you are incapable. Failure indicates that you are yet to learn. Here is an opportunity. In failure tells you this is an opportunity for you to learn. This is what you are supposed to learn. What you do well, you need not learn because you have already learned it. Only this you need to learn. So that is the attitude that we need to develop, and willpower gives you that type of an attitude. So you are able to see healthy, right solutions to problems. And it builds up a culture of creativity and innovation. And there was a question in the earlier session also to talk about creativity. Now, as a teacher of as a student of psychology, I talk about creativity here. Creativity, generally people think that creativity means only fine arts or painting or something like that. That is not the case at all. You can be creative in every walk of life. What creativity implies is that you must have an attitude of how this can be done in a different way, how this can be done in a better way, etc. Only thing doing it in a different way or better way should enrich the lives of others also. Keep that in mind. How will this maximize my profit? That should not be the goal of your creativity. The goal of your creativity should be how will this enrich the quality of life of other people, the society, etc. That is what is required, and willpower gives you that. And finally, willpower results in better relationships and enjoying healthier life. Because when you have the drive, when you have the willpower, you do that, and ultimately you take care of the welfare of the other person also. So you don't harm the other person, because you try to see in what way the way I do it is going to be helpful to others. So when you do that, any time when you try to do well, you try to see it from the other person's point of view and try to do that. That will build better relationships and enjoying healthier life. Better relationships bring in more harmony both outside as well as within, because when you develop a tendency to be helpful to others, beneficial to others, and at the same time your needs are also fulfilled, there occurs a harmony between you and the outside world. A transformation within the person is possible. So as a result, willpower can speed up the transformation within the individual, and it can enhance also. So that there is a need for willpower. Then types of, next slide please. The psychologists talk about two broad types of willpower, an effortful willpower, the other one effortless willpower. Effortful willpower involves resisting impulses or stifling unwanted emotions. So what happens here is you put in a lot of hard efforts in resisting impulses. A common example is when someone says you are a short-tempered person, you get angry very easily. Then what do we say? Well, hereafter I should not become angry. Now you are looking at only the external expression. We are not looking at the inner dynamics here. So what happens here is, when your child is too naughty and then frequently you spank the child, and when people say that you are short-tempered, you get angry easily, then you try to say, I'm going to control my anger. So when you're going to control my anger, you control your anger, you are trying to look at only the external expression. So as your child is naughty, now you try to press your anger, push your anger inside. It's trying to come up, but you are trying to push it. So as you are trying to push it, the anger is building within you. As the anger is building within you, at some point of time, it bursts out. So ultimately what happens, as you put in more and more struggle, as you struggle more and more in controlling your willpower, you become tired, your energy gets depleted, and as a result, your willpower becomes weaker, and ultimately you say, well, I am incapable of doing that. That is not the case at all. You are capable of doing that. Now, then what is the effortless willpower? Effortless willpower refers to one's ability to motivate oneself to stick to a plan that is considered best on the basis of future incentives and expected temptations. I am repeating here, one's ability to motivate oneself. That is, it should motivate yourself to continue with the effort, motivate oneself to stick to a plan that is considered best on the basis of future incentives. What is the future incentive? If I don't get angry, my relationship with my child will be better. My relationship with others also will become better if I modify this tendency in me, and that incentive and expected temptations. I would be tempted, the child will become, I don't expect the child to change. I expect myself to change. That is the future incentive. And there is a case of a person, a friend of mine, she came to me for counseling. Her main problem was that, well, her husband doesn't care for her, and as a result, frequently they fight with each other, they quarrel with each other, etc. And as she was narrating, one day she was telling me that, well, when I prepare something, sometimes when my husband eats all of them without leaving anything for me, well, I become furious and I quarrel with him that day. Then I try to say, well, why do you become curious? It should be the opposite. Your husband enjoys what you have prepared. You should be happy about that. And that should increase your love toward your husband. But she was insensitive to that. She did not motivate herself regarding this. So ultimately, she says, I can understand. Go back. One day it will be there. The next day, after 2 days, she will call me and say, sir, I'm back to square one. Why? Because she has failed to see the positive side. When my husband enjoys eating that, if I prepare dishes like this day in and day out, he will start liking that. As a result, he will develop a love toward me, and this love will grow in the long run. So even the minute things you must see and motivate. So that is where, when you say you are angry, you want to control your anger. When you are able to postpone your anger by about 2 minutes, there is an improvement. That should motivate. You must be sensitive to this improvement, and that should continue further. On the other hand, many of us, what do we do is, well, I am unable to, just for a short while, I'm able to, but in the long run. But when you have the right attitude, when you develop the attitude that, well, anger is not a desirable characteristic, I should change, etc., then effortless willpower. When your attitude changes, which gets reflected in your action, this comes only with practice day in and day out, not once. I'm repeating again and again. You must be motivated. You must practice it in every possible situation. It is not getting angry only with the child. When you get angry with anybody, it can be your life partner, it can be your parent, it can be your friend, it can be a stranger in the train, etc. Everywhere you try to practice this. I should not get angry. Then ultimately, when the attitude comes, you practice that. As you practice that, well, the willpower, the effortless willpower will grow. And since you are motivated, as you see it is growing, your energy will increase. It will not get depleted, and as a result, your willpower will become stronger. So that is where, by changing the attitude and then practicing it in your behavior, then it becomes effortless willpower. Then you are at peace with yourself. You enjoy what you are practicing, and you strengthen that, and you help others also develop that. So that is what is called as effortless willpower. Now, enhancing willpower. So when we have a tendency, we have a willpower, it may be strong or it can be weak. Next slide, please. But it is already there within us. So what should we do to either to cultivate or enhance willpower? First, focus on a single goal. Don't try to have many goals simultaneously. One. Number two, have a goal which is attainable, and then proceed to the long-term goal. Have short-term goals, but the short-term goals should take you to the long-term goal. Because we see people, when the New Year day comes, then they just take a resolve. Well, from this day onwards, I'm not going to smoke at all. Then here, this becomes effortful willpower. 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, well, you are able to, but beyond that, well, you are unable to control, and it becomes like any other year. It becomes until the next year comes, well, smoking continues, sometimes increases. On the other hand, set a goal. How can I control? Will I be able to control completely? Which is not practicable, because I get tempted. In the earlier I have tried, I get tempted. As a result, I cannot do that. Then what should I do now? Per day, I take about 40 cigarettes. Then what should I do? Well, let me check. Is it possible for me to make it 37? No, that is not possible. Then let me make it 39. 1 cigarette is possible. And consistently, don't touch more than 39 every day. Consistently, when you do it for a week, then it becomes an effortless willpower. That is, you don't bother about this one cigarette. Then try to see, well, can I reduce 2 more? Because when I'm able to do 1, then I must be able to do 2 more. You should be able to do. Like for instance, the example that we see is when people decide to go to Sabarimala during the 45 days, they don't drink or they don't smoke. What it implies is that Lord Ayyappa never came in front of you and held your hand and said you should not drink or you should not smoke. You don't believe in yourself, you believe in Lord Ayyappa. It is your belief in Ayyappa which makes you control that. So when you realize that it is because I believe in Ayyappa, I am able to do that, which means I am capable of doing that. That should strengthen your willpower. So have a long-term major goal and then identify short-term attainable goals one by one. As you are able to practice them as per your plan, that will gradually strengthen your willpower. So don't try to take in more problems. Set a priority, and this is my first priority. So this is what I have to attain. Then I go to the second one. Focus on a single goal at a time rather than attacking a list of multiple resolutions, which is quite not practicable. Second thing, consistent exercise. I'm repeating again and again, human skill will not come when you do it once in a while. No. Persistently, whenever you get an opportunity in whichever situation, you must try to apply that. Only then it will strengthen faster and you will be able to attain it. So regularly exerting self-control may improve willpower strength over time. So every day, look for opportunities to exert it. That is important. Then that will strengthen. And as Patanjali said, practice becomes firm only when done for a long period of time. For a long period of time with no interruption. Number 2, with no interruption and with respect. What do you mean with respect? Well, I am a person who is capable of doing that. I should be able to attain that. So I respect myself. Whereas when I don't respect myself, then ultimately what happens? Well, I'm an incapable person, I'm born inferior, as a result, it is not for me. Sometimes our friends say, look at your friend, he was like that, he has done it, he was like that, he has done it, etc. Well, we say, I'm born inferior, you are not born inferior. That is where practice for a longer period of time, don't look for immediate short-term solutions, 1. Number 2, do it with no interruption. That will help you to master the skill. And with respect, yes, I can do that. I am capable of doing that. I've done many things in the past. So this also I should be able to do that. When you do that, certainly you can cultivate and enhance your willpower. Next slide, please. Now, anyway, it's getting late. I'll try to speed up. Yoga is a powerful tool for this. Drugs cannot do that. And some other tools, etc. Yoga, I say yoga is a powerful tool because yoga approaches things in a holistic way. It tries to look at your body, it tries to look at your mind, it tries to look at your spiritual aspect also. I say spiritual again. I wish to answer a question that was asked in the previous session. I look at it from a psychological point of view. So when you say spirituality, what it implies is that the self should be able to relate with many things simultaneously. That is what you call as expansion of consciousness also. So when I do something, what are its implications? I must be able to see. When I contribute something to that, I get a benefit and the other person gets a benefit. But what happens to that in the long run? I do not know. So I must be able to relate it with the many aspects, integrate them together. That is what I would call as spirituality, or able to look at things in a much broader, holistic perspective. Spirituality doesn't mean being near God and doing some service to God. That is not the case at all. That is what many of us look at philosophy and religion, and then we try to say we go to the temple and then do some anadana, then say, well, I have practiced religion. That is not the case at all. What needs to be done is you can be in your place, and then when you see a person who is hungry, provide him food immediately. That is spirituality. You understand his pain. You are able to do that. So that is spirituality. You connect with others. You connect with the larger universe, animate or inanimate. and then try to see things in a positive way, and then where you see both of you can get integrated, harmonize with each other. That is what I would call as spirituality, psychologically speaking. And spirituality is full of psychology. Psychology at a higher level. That's what I would say. Many of us, our psychology is at a mundane level. As you proceed to, as your thinking, your actions, etc., proceed to a higher level where you are more concerned about benefits to the larger universe based on what you do, then you become a spiritual person. You do not believe in God, you do not believe in religion, etc. So that is spirituality. You contribute to the betterment of the universe. That is what I would call as spirituality. So that way, yoga is a powerful tool because it holistically approaches, because your body can have an impact on the mind can have an impact on the body, and these two can have an impact on the spiritual development, the spiritual approach, etc. So the yoga is a holistic approach. And the basic notion of yoga is external stimulation affects our thoughts and actions. So your thoughts and actions are stimulated, triggered by external stimulation. And look at the present day life situation. You are stimulated every single minute through the advertisements, through the commercials, through the beautiful arrangements in malls, etc. You are stimulated day in and day out. So yoga helps you with regard to dealing with the external stimulation. Then it helps in dealing with the external stimulation and the environment. So first notion is it is the external stimulation which affects your thinking and actions. The second one, well, what can I do to deal with them? How can I handle external stimulation in a more effective way and the environment in a more harmonious way so that I don't have problem with the external world also. And yoga helps us control and regulate our mental pattern. Instead, I would prefer to call, say that yoga helps us to regulate our mental patterns in the right direction. When you say control, it appears that it is an outside influence. That is not the case. It is from within. So these are the basic notions of yoga. Next slide, please. Now, impact of yoga on inner control. I'm just giving you a bird's eye view here within the framework of Ashtanga Yoga. So when you say impact of yoga, the mind can become, see, yoga is a strategy or a method which trains the mind in attaining healthy attributes, healthy characteristics, etc. So that way, only when the mind is guided in a controlled manner toward the long-term goal, long-term effect, etc., positive effects, etc., only then the mind can be stronger. When there are no restrictions, then the mind will be weaker. Now I'm trying to tell you why there are more psychological problems today. The reason is that in the outside world, whichever was inconvenient for you, it is actually liberalized. As a result, the outside world is becoming easier. So when the outside world is becoming easier, the restrictions are less, and as a result, the mind goes in its own way. And in this context, I wish to tell you one more thing. Like when this lockdown is going to be completely relaxed, and when the earlier rules, that is the pre-lockdown rules, are going to be imposed in schools, if they are imposed immediately, there will be more psychological problems among children. The same thing applies to adults also in the office, because all these days we are used to a more relaxed way of doing things. Now, when you are going to be controlled all of a sudden, well, that will cause a lot of stress, a lot of difficulties to people. Unfortunately, more psychological issues are there, and I think behavioral scientists, including yoga specialists, should gear themselves to face such a situation and help people prevent such types of problems. Right. Now, that way, the first aspect is yama, which refers to what you already know, the social codes of conduct. Social codes of conduct are nothing but harmonizing the external expression of the individual with regard to one's social interaction. So it harmonizes the external expression of the individual to one's social interaction. Like, for example, when you see non-violence, what is violence? Hurting somebody or harming somebody. So that way, what happens here? Norms say that, well, non-violence, you should not harm somebody. So it guides you. So you should love others. When you do that, then your mind practices expression. I should not hurt other people. I should not harm other people. Then the mind learns to function within the boundary in such a way that then you start harmonizing with the outside world. That is why we say, well, harmonizing the self can contribute to harmonizing the world. So that way, that is what it is, yama, external expression. So you develop a harmony, you start developing a harmony with the external world through yamas. Then niyama refers to personal codes of conduct. That is what you need to practice within you. Outside, yes, external expression, yamas. Then internal, what you should do. So you must have positive habits. What are positive habits? Habits which help you to develop your potential and use the potential for the betterment of others. Behaviors and the observances. The observances don't mention about what you should not do. They say what you need to do. So the observances help you to practice that. So that way, when you have a personal code of conduct, the mind again practices that, becomes stronger to practice these positive qualities or positive tendencies. So that is niyama. Then the third one, asana. Next slide, please. Asana. So when we practice asana, because in yoga teaching or training, more practice is given to asanas. As a result, you would have experienced when you practice asana, what happens? You are asked to practice a particular pose. Up to what? Until a point where you don't experience a discomfort. At a point when you start experiencing a discomfort, don't do it now. That doesn't mean you stop it at that. You gradually practice, and over a period of time, you will be able to master that. Well, one may be able to do it faster, you may be able to do slower, but you notice the inner limitation, and then you try to overcome that, and then you try to do that, and ultimately you are able to do that. That is where, when you practice asana, please keep in mind, asana is not only about training your body to be flexible, etc. When you do that, well, initially pain, I do that, then little by little, when I go, ultimately, I don't experience the pain. It is your inner, it builds up inner control. Yes, I'm experiencing pain. There is some limitation in my body. So when I do it slightly more and more, gradually I will be able to overcome that. So that way, asana builds up inner control, also the willpower. So don't think that, well, asana is only a physical activity. Every aspect of yoga is full of psychology. Try to understand the psychological implications. Only then you can derive the complete benefits of asana, yoga. Then the next one is pranayama. When you have to do things like we saw that when you practice develop inner control, you deplete your energy, which means your body needs energy. Pranayama, as you all know, is the conscious regulating of the breath. So it helps you to acquire complete and conscious control over the pranic currents, the energy, and thus to be able to direct the energy wherever that is required. So pranayama helps you to mobilize energy, one. Number two, it trains you. It trains the mind to look at where energy is required, and the energy is diverted toward that rather than wasting your energy in some other useless activity, and ultimately you have energy required to develop the inner control. So pranayama can provide the energy for the development of the inner control. It facilitates the development of inner control. Next slide, please. The next one is pratyahara. We saw that everything you are stimulated from outside. Then here, your mind is trained to withdraw its consciousness from the senses, because through your senses you mean to come into contact with the external world. So when you learn to withdraw, initially there may be difficulty. So moving to the inner from the outer. So when you move from the outer world to the inner world, you start focusing on what is happening within you rather than seeing what is happening outside you. See, the external temptation, all your sense organs are focused on the outside world. Now, when you cut your consciousness from the senses, then you can focus your consciousness to the inner aspect rather than the outer. So, as a result, opening up to right food helps your physical health. Opening up to right impressions helps your mind. It creates right mind, and as a result, it strengthens your inner control. And right associations actually leads to harmony with the external world. Ultimately, willpower starts to develop. So every step here starts to develop. Pratyahara is going to strengthen the willpower further, because you learn to withdraw your consciousness from the senses, from the outside world, and you are able to master that. When you do that, because this is the bridge between the physical world and the psychological world. This is the one which connects body and the mind. Then the next one is when you master Pratyahara, Dharana, the binding of the mind to a particular piece. The mind focuses intently on object without consciousness wavering from it. Because when you try to focus on your consciousness on one aspect, what happens? There are many things. Only when you try to focus on one thing, except that everything else comes into your mind. So the mind wavers here, and as a result, there are a lot of distractions. And many people I have seen, they think that, well, I cannot do that because it cannot happen to me. No. When you intently practice that, when you realize that distractions come in, then practice on keeping the distraction away, then your focus will become more and more pointed. So again, intense practice is required. Like when you are in a railway station, well, the tendency is there already in you. When you are in a railway station, there are many people moving around. There are a lot of noises. There are many sound systems that are coming up. But when you say train such and such, immediately you are able to keep them away and focus on this, which means you are capable of keeping distractions away. Only you need to practice it, to do it at will whenever there is required. And practice of dharana helps you in that, which in turn builds up inner control. Then dhyana. Dhyana is concentration upon a point of focus with the intention of knowing the truth about it. You try to know everything about it, minute details. That is what you say about truth. You must be able to focus on one single point without any wavering at all. And that is why we say dhyana should improve concentration. But what people do is, usually in a yoga class or at home, they just focus on a mantra and then keep on focusing on the mantra, and then when it is over, dhyana is over. That is not the case. The mantra helps you to strengthen the meditation, that is focusing on a single point. Now you have mastered a tendency to focus on a single thing, keeping all the distractions away. Then you must be able to apply the skill in various walks of life. When there is a problem, focus on the problem. Keep the distractions away, because when you try to do something, immediately you think, what will my friends think of me? What will my parents think of me? What will somebody else? These are all distractions. But what would be appropriate when I do that? And what would be the implications for them, to my parents, to my children, to my family, etc.? And are the benefits more than the disadvantages, etc.? Focus on that. Keep the distractions away. Then you will become better in learning. You will become better in problem solving, etc. So that is how it should be. That way, yoga has to be more application oriented toward life. That is not happening now. You try to just practice the asana and then you say memory has improved. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. So this has to be practiced pertaining to the particular tendency. Only then it can happen. So that way, yoga has to be become an applied field. There is a lot of scope for that. It has not become an applied field in most of the areas. And I request you people to think of that, make it more and more application oriented in the real walk of life. So in dhyana, body, breath, senses, mind, reason, and ego are all integrated in the object of the contemplation. So it focuses on a single point and you are able to do it at will. So you master yourself and as a result, you have achieved inner control. So that way, yoga is a powerful tool to develop inner control. And yoga has provided us some guides for the cultivation of inner control. Willpower is a muscle power, muscle that can be strengthened over time and through the body. What it implies is that just your muscles become stronger with exercise. With practice, your mind can also become stronger. So when the body becomes stronger, that helps the mind become stronger. And as a result, what happens? You can develop control over your own body. Developing control over your own body helps you to develop control over your mind also. So that way it can be strengthened. Number two, self-compassion is the foundation needed to strengthen. You must respect yourself, important. At the same time, understand your limitations and try to set a priority and use the skills that you learned through the practice of yoga, apply them, and that will help you to strengthen your resolve to achieve the goal. And deep connection to the self will set us free. When you connect yourself deeply, when you understand yourself better more and more, then you know what you want, how you want to do that, etc. And you enjoy more and more freedom rather than more and more restrictions within you, inhibitions within you. So that way, that is why I say yoga is a powerful tool. To conclude, today's life is full of contemplation that divides people, whereas yoga should unite people, and we must minimize this division. And yoga, I think only yoga in the present day life can achieve that. Then it is high time, apart from guiding missiles, we start guiding people in the right direction. And yoga is the one which can guide human beings in the right direction. Yoga is a powerful tool, and since it is a resource developed in India, and I think India is in a position to guide the world in promoting inner as well as outer harmony, international harmony. And I congratulate Annamalai University, especially the team of IQAC and the Center for Yoga Studies, for focusing on a very relevant required theme, which I think will help in developing willpower through which individual transformation will come in. I thank you for all the opportunities, and it was a pleasure interacting with you all. Thank you so much. Yes, please, any clarifications?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for our thought-provoking session. It's a very informative and excellent session. We have received many participants' feedback, positive feedback we have received. And due to the shortage of time, we have to finish this session. Just before Thanksgiving, I just give the instruction to the participants. Dear participants, thank you very much for your patient listening. Because today is the inaugural function. For that reason, we have extended half an hour time. From next day onwards, we have to keep our time. Then one more thing, those who have not received your ID, please put 0 and fill up the feedback format. Okay, please, again, I will repeat. Those who have not received the ID, please fill up in the feedback form. You put 0, then you have to fill up all the details. So we have to, because many participants have paid today. So for that reason, we have to check with the bank statement only by tomorrow. For that reason, we should not able to give your ID. So please, you fill up the feedback line with only you put 0. I hope you all understand, I think. Again, we will put the feedback link to the chat box. Thank you, sir. Sir has covered the achieving inner control, and he has covered current focus in life, then reasons for materialism, and he has explained a very elaborative lecture. Definitely it will reach to be done. Willpower, the ability of delay of gratification, resisting short-term temptations, and to meet long-term goals, etc. So, and also he has explained about types of willpower and needs of willpower and enhancing willpower and effortful willpower, and the types he has mentioned effortful willpower and effortless willpower nicely he has explained. Then finally he has given yoga is a powerful tool, that is he has quoted the Ashtanga yoga, that is yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana and dhyana. Sir, he has given a very good thought-provoking session, sir. Thank you for your lecture for and accepting our invitation. I thank again the authorities of Annamalai University, IQAC, cell, and organizing members of this committee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
So, dear participants, so the chat box will be opened only the 5 minutes. So you please, those who are not submitted the feedback form, you please and put the ID number.
So the chat